every single time we hear that end there from Derek Adams, my goodness, it brings a laugh. So what a day we have on Sports Sound for you this afternoon. Some massive matches. You're tuned to Open All Mics. A busy afternoon ahead. Welcome to viewers who have joined us on BBC Scotland, the iPlayer and the BBC Sports Scot website. We'll bring you all the goal news, all the big talking points from right across the country. We've been around the grounds to get the team news. We've heard from some managers, and some managers with some very strong comments to make, you would have to say, particularly so at Dens Park. That game was given the green light after a second pitch inspection at 1 o'clock. Dundee at home to Motherwell. Derek Ferguson is there for us. Strong comments from Stuart Kettlewell. Derek, he said he has real fears today over player safety.
Yeah, it is a concern, Kenny, when the pitch is going to play so differently in certain areas. Yeah, I mentioned earlier about Spittle, you know, guys that play, you know, just off the front, like you go in the half turn where there's a couple of areas that are not ideal, to say the least. Now we've got the added worry of the overhead condition as well. Kenny, the wind is starting to get up. Blowing it a hell of a lot at the moment, like a lot of other players just watching as the teams come out. I was watching in the warm-up, Kenny, as well, and the players were in and around the areas of worry, and the ball seemed to be rolling okay, but once it would drop there from a height, it would just stop dead. So that's the only worry. Listen, the game's on. The guys have got to put that at the back of their mind. Dundee, you know, they've got that task of trying to get top six. Motherwell, they're still in with a slim hope. So listen, difficult conditions, underfoot, overhead, but sometimes that makes for a cracking game, and that's what I'm hoping for.
I think, I was struck by what Stuart Kettlewell said pre-match, and he was talking about the finance. Motherwell had a problem with their pitch. They spent over £1 million to get their pitch in good order, which it now is. That money comes out of the player budget. Dundee clearly have not spent over £1 million on their pitch. That money that they're saving goes into the player budget. It's a kind of financial advantage that Dundee have had, and I don't think it shouldn't be allowed. I mean, the SPFL, and I know there's a kind of an investigation going on into what happened previously with that pitch. I hope it's a proper one. I hope it comes back with a sanction for Dundee, because through rigmarole today, this would have been the 5th game called off on that pitch this season. Okay, they've rescued it, but it looks like a sandpit out there.
Should the SPFL turn into like NATO, demand that there's a certain percentage of turnover spent on the defence budget?
Well, I think
it's the goal, the pitch budget.
Would you be concerned walking out into that park today? We'll get the pictures coming in.
No, I mean, look, Stuart Kettlewell makes a good point. Regardless of what, you know, the pitches were like, 10-15 years ago, we've moved on. So in 2024, I agree with the guys. Look, there's no doubt that Dundee, I wouldn't suggest they haven't spent anything on the park, but they've not spent enough, because there has been problems right throughout the season. And for us to be in April, granted that, you know, it's been unseasonal weather, it shouldn't be on the verge of being called off. And had this not been so close to the post-split fixtures, there is no doubt in my mind that David Dickinson would have been calling that game off.
Yeah, certainly what a referee put to me earlier on Sports. And a chance.
Kilmarnock started well, just high up the pitch. Dan Armstrong in swinging cross to the back post, and Matt Kennedy's there and he volleys it. I'm sure the goalkeeper gets a touch. You can maybe tell me, Michael and Tom, and he touches it onto the post. So really good start for Kilmarnock.
Yeah, just waiting on the replay coming in for that one, Billy. Let's then get to Easter Road, Hibs against St Johnstone. Alan, a huge game for both clubs today.
It is, and like everywhere, Kenny, the wind will play its part today. It's really blustery in Edinburgh. It's lovely and mild, just 17 degrees, but the wind will play a part as Lafondra's in. Cleared. Yeah, it's a big game for both clubs. Hibs trying to make the top 6. St Johnstone just trying to stay out of that playoff berth if they can. You would think, I think County have done well since the manager's been replaced, and they seem to be a team on the up, as where St Johnstone are struggling a little bit, and it might be a treacherous few games for St Johnstone, I'm afraid.
Lola excels up.
Yeah, take it away, Kasim.
Nikolai Todorov, ball's been given away in the middle of the park by Greenock Morton, and he's found himself running through, hit it from outside the box into the top left corner. 1-0 Airdrie here at Excelsior against Greenock Morton.
Fantastic start for Rhys McCabe's side. They're on a great run of form, and they look set to be in the playoffs, Tom.
Alan, I'm fascinated to see how Hearts cope without Shanklin today. He's played every single game in the league this season, scored 50% of their league goals. How do you think
Oh,
they're going to survive without him.
Struggle. Yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult when you're taking out their main man. You know, but Stephen Naismith's built a big squad there, lacking strikers. I think that has to be addressed in the summer. I know they've added a few already, midfield players. Needs to get a right back in, as we all know, and certainly one or two forward-thinking players.
Alan, how concerned are you for your former club, St Johnstone? As you say, in a really poor run of form. We had a Saints fan on a few weeks ago, not at all happy. He was saying that he was seriously considering whether or not he would renew his season ticket. I think he said he'd had one for about 30 odd years. Not just the results, but he was really upset, Alan, at the style of football recently.
Yeah, and I can get that. You know, I think it's very, very. It's not great on the eye, it must be said. Can they get a result here today? It's going to be very difficult. I expect Hibs, with what they've got on their plate, to go and try and win, or go and win this game. But St Johnstone are just struggling, and I've already started looking at teams in the Championship, thinking, will it be Wraith Rovers, will it be Dunfermline coming on a decent run, Airdrie are flying, winning games. And when you're constantly winning games, winning becomes a habit for these teams. And whoever it is that's going to be in the playoffs, whether it be Ross County, whether it be St Johnstone, they'll find it difficult against the Championship clubs.
Totally difficult. I mean, the conditions, I know we've spoken about the win, Kenny, but Ross County had a chance here. They've had 3 balls just high into the box from deep, from their centre halves, and it's like the old boomerang ball at times, and it's causing Kilmarnock all sorts of problems. Murray nearly got on the end, it nearly bundled it over the line. Dees managed to clear, but it's going to be treacherous for the team. As I look at it here from this main stand, left to right, whoever's playing that way, just balls, long balls, it's going to cause all sorts of problems.
Billy, psychology in sport really interests me. Week in, week out, we hear managers saying one game at a time, they don't look at tables. But Derek McInnes said this week there will be a twinge of disappointment if they don't go on to secure European football now that they've guaranteed a place in the top 6. As a manager, is that sort of thing you come out with? Is that sort of thing that players will embrace, or does it put extra pressure on some players?
Michael and I talked about it to you last week, but the one thing I would say to that, I think because he's secured top 6, it's taken the pressure off, and he has looked that little bit further ahead, where he said, okay, pressure off, it's been a great season either way, but he can set targets now because it's been a great result, top 6, now I can look at Europe. So it's a bit because the pressure's off that he's come out with that statement, no doubt.
And I think he's doing it to put a wee bit of pressure onto the players that, you know, look, the season's no over, top 6 been achieved, great, brilliant, but there's still things to go and do through the last spell of games, rather than, you know, whether it's subconscious or not, he doesn't want the players to be taking their foot off the pedal, because Kilmarnock are right in the hunt, and Derek's an experienced manager, he knows exactly what he's doing, and for me, I think he's just publicly putting down another marker. That's what you need to go and do now.
It's a good time to say it, isn't it?
Yep.
Once you've secured what is going to be a good season either way, there's times and places, and he's read the script with that one, Kerry.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing, doesn't he?
He doesn't want it to peter out. I mean, they're looking above them at Hearts. They're not going to catch Hearts in all probability. So there is a fear. I think it's very clever management from McInnes. There's a fear that they might just coast.
Yep.
He doesn't want them to coast, because if they coast and they drop down to 5th, that's kind of not devalues the season, but you know what I mean? It's just not as good a season as it could be. And it could be a very good season. They finish 4th, they get into Europe. That's a terrific season.
I have to say, Tom, we're going to cross to Willie in a minute. I laughed when I saw some of the Aberdeen fans suggesting that Derek McInnes could be a return to Pittodrie. The odds on that one?
Was that not on Monday, April Fool's?
Honestly.
Kenny, I know we shouldn't be advocating betting, but if you want to have a bet on that, I'll fill my bag with your money.
Absolutely.
And it will not be happening.
Yeah, that's definitely one that is not happening. Stirling Albion 0, Alloa 1. Connor Salmon with the goal there on 5 minutes. Let's now hear from Willie Miller. He's at Amon Vale for us. Livingston home to Aberdeen. What's happening in the early stages, Willie?
Yeah, some decent football being played, actually, considering the amount of wind that's out there, and the players are really coping with it extremely well, and both teams having their moments. So the only chance of the game, it was Stephen Bradley at the back post. Good cross from Mackay down the left hand side. They should have done better ghosting in, off the shoulder of Mackenzie. He got his head on it, but it slipped past the post. You know, the Derek McInnes thing, there were some strong rumours, actually, some time ago that he was being considered.
Couldn't believe it.
No, I mean, you just discount it, because I don't think that...
just have a chat with Derek.
I don't think Derek would come back. I think if Stuart Milne was back in chairman, that Dave Cormack took a back seat, then that would be a different matter altogether. And I'm sure that it would be Stuart that would be pushing his name forward again, but I just couldn't see it under the structure of the board just now.
How back must the back seat be?
Oh, must be, it is! Oh no! That's unbelievable! Oh, Dundee United twice clean through. What a save, the second one from Callum Ferry in the Queen's Park goal. I mean, we're talking 3 feet out. The first one rattles the bar, comes back to United player, and Tony Watt has a rattle at that, an incredible miss, and it's 0-0. Kenny, I've never seen anything like that for many a year. Astonishing.
From a man that's seen it all. Chick, what about the atmosphere there at the National Stadium? What, 2,000 fans, terrific away support, but is it quite a strange, eerie atmosphere in a big stadium like that?
I've been in the more exciting lending libraries. United 2,000 down, tremendous support for them, outnumbered the Queen's fans, but really, in terms of this stadium, and the pitch is in magnificent shape. We know Hampden well, of course, and United are enjoying the space they're getting on this surface at the moment, but much as we applaud what Queen's Park have achieved, and Callum Davidson is achieving with the team, it's
need to get out of
atmosphere.
Yeah,
it's a curious atmosphere.
The players can't enjoy that, Michael, can they?
Oh, no chance. I mean, look, I'd love to. I don't know the specifics. My thought was that when Lesser Hampden was getting redeveloped, it was for Queen's Park to go and play there. Mm-hmm. Now, what is the reason that that's changed? Is it that something's happened or what? I don't know.
Penalty!
Yes, Chick.
Dundee United have a penalty. This has been some start to this football match. I've only played 6 minutes. Player brought down the far side. I'll identify him in a second or two. The referee, no doubt about it, Duncan Williams in front of him. Willie Young's just sitting in front of me taking notes just into his diary there. We've got the spy glasses out to see what's happened there. Penalty.
It'll be full marks, don't worry.
United. Yeah, don't worry about that.
No matter what. A penalty, have a look at this. I don't think it is. The ball's up in the air. Mitov comes out, and he gets 2 fists on it. I think it catches the Hibs player.
Well,
the wind's horrific.
I'd need to see the replay again, whether he gets enough of the ball, but certainly in the first viewing there, Alan, he clatters into the Hibs player.
The ball?
I don't know, I'd need to see the replay. I've not seen the replay yet.
Here comes the penalty kick, Kenny.
Right, Chick.
It's going to be Louis Malt with the penalty kick at the Mount Floyd end of Hampden in the sunshine. He's going to take this right-footed. Callum Ferry stretches his arms. Louis Malt taking a long time over the build-up. The referee just checking that there's no encroachment into the 18-yard box. Here comes Louis Malt, right-footed. Oh, well, it's a save. Callum Ferry is down his side. Not only saves it, he holds it. Still 0-0.
That is a penalty all day long.
At Easter Road.
At Easter Road.
Marcondes gets a head on it.
Aye.
Yeah, are they looking at it, Alan?
It's not a penalty, not been given.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
My first reaction was when I saw that was a clear penalty.
Yeah, because you're thinking if he's punched that, the ball's not gone where you would expect it to go. How in God's green earth somebody's looked at that and said, aye, fine, is an utter joke.
Did you have a chance, Tom, to look at that?
I thought it was a penalty. I am reminded of the Suter one, Mikey.
What one?
The Suter, when he got slapped in the face and you said it was no penalty.
What one?
Was it last weekend?
The one you're going nuts about. The Rangers penalty against Hibs last weekend.
Oh, look,
it's a similar incident.
No, it's not.
It is.
Oh,
it's a
Tom,
it's a collision. I mean, I was amazed that you didn't think that the Suter one wasn't a penalty.
How can it be a penalty?
Because he got a slap in the face.
Tom, I said at the time I didn't think it was a penalty either.
It's not a penalty kick. I mean, if you've got
that was a penalty kick, and so was the other one.
No, look, sorry. Here's
You've been watching too much
see the listeners. Can you explain the differences, Mike?
There's a massive difference.
Right, explain it.
Massive difference.
First of all, tell us what you've just seen at Easter Road.
The ball goes up in the air from a strike. Marcondes is running through. Mitov comes running out to punch the ball, doesn't punch the ball, and clatters Marcondes. It's a penalty every day of the week. What happened last week was a corner coming in. Triantas is following the ball, running back to header it.
And clatters Suter.
Well, you could argue that John Suter runs into him.
Oh, you could argue that, but you're wrong.
So what you're punishing somebody for is colliding with somebody that he doesn't even know is there because he's following the ball.
I'm just glad you're not a referee, Tom.
Exactly. It's absolutely mental, Billy.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
Well, not very well.
But the fact that Suter takes a smack in the face. If that's on anywhere else on the pitch, it's a foul.
No,
it is a foul. And intent, whether he knew it, obviously it was accidental. But it was still.
But Tom,
it was still a foul.
Tom, if you want to give a penalty kick for that, if you want to give it, it's nothing like that.
Consistency, Michael.
It is nothing like it. It is consistent.
Kenny, while the guys are having a discussion, the first time the park has played its part today, there was a ball into the box, around about the penalty spot. The ball should have normally bounced up. Spittle, he's a tremendous striker with the ball. The ball just was dead, and he ended up, he sclaffs the ball into the ground. He's trying to adjust, nothing to do with his technique. So I think if the ball just bounces up there, I think he gets a strike on goal. So it's just that little area round about the penalty spot.
I don't know what it's like at other grounds, but Conor Randall just tried to have a shot, but he skied into there, and the wind caught it, and it come under the goalkeeper, right practically on the line, maybe a yard off it, and the goalkeepers are taking no chances today, not trying to catch it, just punching everything.
Well, I can tell you what, Billy, the wind certainly turned up in the studio here about 2 minutes ago.
He doesn't like being challenged, does he?
I told you
was right about this guy.
I told you the two of them last week. I said I'll look after, make sure they're calm. I'll leave the studio for 5 minutes and they're at it.
Billy begged not to be in the studio this week. I have to tell, that's an exclusive. Just a reminder, we are on the television right now, BBC Scotland. You can also watch on an iPlayer, and you can tune in through the BBC Sports Scot website. Watch us online. There is a link on there for that. Let's get back to
Jamie Brandon. He's had to go off. I'm assuming he's away to get some treatment to a head knock. The doctor was out, had a look at him. They haven't made their substitute yet. Head collision just outside the box with Majowski. Majowski's okay, but Brandon looks as though he's away, maybe to get stitched up inside.
Willie, what have you seen from Livingston today? I watched the game against Celtic last Sunday, and they just looked as if they were gone. The fight wasn't there. There were no challenge at all to Celtic. They look aside now, Willie, that know their fate.
They haven't shown that this afternoon, no. I mean, I think their attitude's been pretty good. Another blow for them. Jamal George is sitting down now, and he needs some treatment as well. So it's a bit of couple of stoppages, just recently. But no, they've been taking the game to Aberdeen. They've probably had slightly the better. Well, they did. The only chance of the game was that Bradley. Was it Jamie Brandon that had it? It was Bradley that had it at the back post. He should have done better with the header. But no, I haven't seen any sign that they've packed their suitcases up and are away to a beach in Spain. I think they're still giving as much as they possibly can for David Martindale. Still don't think it'll be enough, right enough, but I think this afternoon they've showed a good attitude.
Yeah, that's good to hear. It's been a very, very disappointing campaign for Livingston after so many good ones before that. We got a wee chance somewhere.
It was just a corner kick for Dundee, and the ball just again, it's into the box. It's Spittle. The ball just doesn't bounce quite up as you would expect. Miskicks it. I thought it was going to land to one of the Dundee players, but it's been cleared. I think the players have realised, Kenny, because at the start they were just lumping the ball forward, but you can play a bit of football on the park, and Dundee have certainly started to try and do that a little bit the last 2 or 3 minutes, as they're certainly dictating play at the moment.
Yeah, he's put together a very, very good squad. Yes, Kassim.
Charlie Telfer, great right-footed shot from outside the box into the bottom left corner. The wind has been causing some havoc. It's just swirled around, sat down nicely for him. Lovely finish. 2-0 Airdrie against Greenock Morton.
Yeah, going very, very nicely indeed. They are in 4th spot, so get that final spot in the playoffs as things stand. Rhys McCabe's side, they're having a terrific season. Of course, they won the SPFL Trust Trophy a couple of weeks ago, so plenty more to come from Kassim there. We'll get to Jim Duffy in just a minute. He's watching Wraith Rovers this afternoon, but before that, let's get to the game in Paisley. A sellout there. What's happening, Rory?
Not a lot, Kenny. I don't have much down in my notes at all, and I think if you ask any football player, they're happy to play in rain and sleet and snow, but wind can really affect a game, and in keeping with the rest of the stadiums up and down the country, it's actually Hearts who are kicking against the wind. Xander Clark's goal kicks aren't reaching the halfway line, and then on the flip side of that, any kind of ball that St Mirren try and play over the top, it's just running out of play. These are two good sides, but it's really affecting the quality of the football at this moment in time. St Mirren probably have slightly edged it, but not too much at all. It's still 0-0 and not much to report on.
Yeah, I mean, wind spoils so many sports, apart from windsurfing. It really does. It really does. And Rory's right. You didn't want to be playing when it's blowing a gale like that. and the important thing is then in circumstances like you've got to try and keep the ball on the deck and pass it around as much as possible, because you stick it up in the air, then it's just a lottery.
Well, on days like today, talent shines through, and on that theme, I want you guys to have a think.
I want the studio.
You see, it's Kevin Thompson. It was quite funny, Tom, because last week myself and Michael were going at it quite early in the 5:30 to 7 o'clock part of the programme. And I think it's fair to say, by certainly all the feedback I got, that was a convincing victory for me there. But Kevin Thompson was sitting back. Kevin Thompson was sitting back chuckling. Little did he know, half an hour later, he was in the receiving end as well.
Mikey, when he loses the first battle, he finds another potential victim. He just moves around until he gets the better of somebody.
I was driving to Inverness, nearly crashing the car laughing.
It was.
Billy, who won that one, Billy?
I'll call it a draw.
Dodge, they come on.
Well, all right then, I'll no sit in the fence, it wasn't you.
I did enjoy Kevin Thompson chuckling away, leaning back in his seat when the two of you were going out of hammer and tongs.
It was good fun, I have to say. Took me back to the old Monday nights. Queen of the South 0, Celtic Hearts 1, Lewis Moore on 15 minutes. Just in terms of the talent, I want you guys to have a think. Yeah. And we did this we do it every year, of course. I want your nomination for Player of the Year. There's a list come out this week, some of the bookies' odds and who the front runners are, but also I want a special mention. We did this last season as well, of a player that's not going to win it, but he's had a really good campaign. So the guys last year, Player of the Year, the majority of our pundits went for Callum McGregor. In terms of an exceptional season, most of the guys went for Mark O'Hara. He was terrific at St Mirren last campaign. So have a wee think about that.
No, sorry, just to go back to last week, a friend of mine did ask, was that all contrived about Mikey? Suggested Malky Mackay and Jack Ross for Aberdeen. I said, no, he actually believes that. And he said, that's even worse then.
Some people are saying the old pals act in Scottish football working against
some people might say that. I couldn't possibly comment on that.
That was a suggestion. Certainly Aberdeen fans weren't having it. To be fair to Michael, he did say earlier on in the programme, he put forward some names, guys that had experience of working in Scotland, but he knew they wouldn't go down well with Aberdeen fans. I have to say, a lot of people got back and said that they thought Neil Lennon was a very good shout for it.
I give you 3 names of which nobody else was willing to put one single name forward.
Yeah, that's true.
And I told you it wouldn't be ones that would be happy with it. But the whole point is that you need folk that are actually running places that have got the conviction in terms of what they believe needs to be done, and that's sorely lacking.
We were talking about
Majowski's through. Oh, he misses it. Big opportunity for Aberdeen right through the heart of that Livingston defence. He's certainly not looking as sharp as he was maybe 6 weeks ago. Majowski in front of goal. I would have put.
You still blaming Warnock for that?
Clipping that one. It still is. Fault for throwing under the bus at Kilmarnock. Yes, I can.
Good one, Willie.
I can reveal
Willie,
that
old chip on your shoulder, Willie. Move on, Willie.
That's a second chip I've got on my other shoulder now.
Willie, can I ask you a question? If you didn't have your chip on your shoulder, would you have become Aberdeen's greatest ever player? Surely the chip was essential to the greatness.
Well, he used to have a chip shop.
Willie, he would have. I mean, all things and jokes aside, he would have scored that, a month or two ago. Yeah. He's straight through and goal, and he just. I don't know whether it's his final touches just away from him ever so slightly, and he's stretching to try and lift it over the keeper. But you think about Majowski as a striker, and one of the things that straight away springs to mind is the composure in front of goals. Yeah. Very seldom was he ever sclaff anything, but on that occasion he just was overstretching a bit.
Yeah, he just didn't look confident. He would normally, maybe take his touch to the side and open his body up a little bit so that he can actually get, either side of Shamal George there. And George goes down to the ground as well. I'm expecting him to hit it high, doesn't he? Puts it low. So 2 things there. I think he needs to open his body up, give himself a better opportunity and hit it high into the roof of the net. But the body language going through there, big opportunity for them as well, and he just didn't take it.
He didn't score, I think, for 6 in a row under Warnock. And I hate going on about Warnock, but 6 in a row. But that's a kind of an achievement of sorts, isn't it? To take Majowski, a natural goal scorer.
And he did say Warnock early on, he made him a better player.
Yeah.
And he also said this week in that interview we're referring to where he mentioned Willie, he did say he believes that Majowski will be off in the summer.
Well, I mean,
it's going to happen, isn't it?
Well, I wouldn't give him any bonus points for saying that Majowski, who's a fantastic footballer, a great goal scorer, is going to be off.
You just never had him, had you?
No, I didn't.
Neil Warnock,
no. To be honest, I didn't. I thought it was a terrible appointment for many reasons. I did think, and where I got it wrong, I thought because the league is poor this season, I thought he would get them up the league because the league is poor. That bit I got wrong. The rest of it I got right on him.
Kenny, can I give you my player? Well, because there's nothing really happening in my game. It's absolutely, it's so poor
right,
at the moment. You need to look at a montage of his goals this season, and he's got a move to Hearts. Blair Spittle, he's been absolutely. Any time I've covered the game, he's been a different class, and some of the strikes already he's had this season, I thought he'd be worth a mention.
Yeah,
he's on my list. He's on my list, Derek.
Right, so Derek, while you're kicking us off then, Derek, so in terms of the players that were mentioned in this list that I saw to actually win the award, not the guys that have had a really good season but won't be considered. So Matt O'Reilly, James Tavernier, Lawrence Shankland, Jack Butland.
Yeah.
Would it be one of these or someone else that would get it for you, Derek?
Shankland or Tavernier for me. That's just two that just spring to mind right away, and I didn't know that was a list. Yeah, Butland is kind of been off the kind of radar a little bit for me, but I think Shankland's been outstanding, brilliant. Some of the goals, and Tavernier, just it's not just the goals and the performances. He plays 90 minutes every game. It's incredible what he's done. So
if you had to go for one,
I'd go for Shankland.
Lawrence Shankland.
Yeah. I think Kenny, I need to make a mention of the real Player of the Year award in Scotland, which is the Scottish Football Writers Association.
Quite right.
Yes, so I was already about to read, but we're a bit later in the season, therefore it's a more accurate reflection.
That's a very good point. Bodywood goals 1, Peterhead 0, Bradley Barrett with the goal in 22 minutes.
Chico,
but having said that, I'll tell you, I'm going to vote for it. It's going to be Lawrence Shankland for everything he's achieved this season, and I know he's tailed off a little bit. And the man I would like to give you honourable mention to, Kenny, is Danny Armstrong of Kilmarnock. I think every time I watch him, he's brilliant.
Yeah, great shout, Chip.
Chico, what about your team? What about Alex Gogic? As I was saying, special mention.
Danny Armstrong.
I mean, the St Mirren fans love Gogic shit, don't they?
Yeah, I love Gogic as well. And then last year, I think I was one of the guys that backed out at O'Hara, and I had a terrific season.
I went for Gogic last season, Chick. It was actually last season I named him Gogic.
And I think it's important to give these guys a mention. Guys we know won't win it, but they've had a terrific campaign for their respective clubs. Another goal coming in, Stirling Albion 0, Alloa Athletic 2, Bobby Wales on 23 minutes. So Derek's gone for Lawrence Shankland, honourable mention to Blair Spittle. Chick has gone for Lawrence Shankland, the mention
Kenny,
for Danny Armstrong.
I think that Shankland played a bit better in the Scotland games. I think that breaks a little bit on him.
Who's saying that? Give him a break.
Why?
Played against the best centre half of the world.
Absolutely, and again, you've got to get a run of games as well. To prove he just threw in, and you expect him to be absolutely turn it on. That's not always the case. So that's why he's performed so well with Hearts. He's in a team that he feels comfortable, he's appreciated, and he's producing the goods.
I am going to echo the lads with Lawrence Shankland as Player of the Year. The other category, what are we calling it? Unsung or something like that?
Honourable mention.
Honourable mention. I had Danny Armstrong and I had Blair Spittle on my list. I have two others on my list for that category. Simon Murray and Theo Bair.
Theo Bair's an interesting one.
12 goals. Simon Murray, 17 goals in all competitions.
Look at Michael's face.
For a team that is
look at Michael's face. Come on, Michael. Come on.
Kenny, you just need to come down off your perch. He's got a tickly throat.
He's willing you to be angry.
I know.
All of the time.
That's not an easy thing to achieve. Right. Let's you haven't heard from. Who are you going to go for? One of these four that you've given at the end there for the honourable mention. Which one?
Can I pick one from the lads category?
Ignore your two.
You've gone for Lawrence Shankland. So who's your honourable mention? You mentioned four names, but you have to give me one.
I'm going to give you Theo Bair.
Theo Bair. Right, we haven't heard from Jim Duffy.
Bizarrely.
Jim Duffy, what's happening in your game? Another big one in the Championship this afternoon.
Yeah, obviously I listened to the guys there just with interest and all their opinions, but in this game, I think like everyone else,
one of the few,
just dictated by the wind. There hasn't been a shot at goal, there hasn't been an effort. There's been one corner in 25 minutes. It's just been a stop-start game. The ball just keeps getting rolling out. We know we talk about pitches. It's a beautiful artificial pitch here, so is it better to have an artificial pitch than a bad grass pitch? I think we're always moaning about pitches. We moan about Livingston, we moan about Kilmarnock, etc. But today the pitch here is fantastic for the football, but sadly the football that's getting played on at this moment in time is not of a great standard, so it's still 0-0 here and nothing too much to get excited about, I'm afraid.
Dunfermline 0, Partick Thistle 1, Brian Graham with the goal in 24 minutes. Jim, who would get your shouts then for Player of the Year and honourable mention?
Yeah, the same as the guys. I think Shankland and Tavernier. Seeing that everyone else has went for Shankland, I'll go for Tavernier. I think to score the amount of goals he scored from full-back is just phenomenal. And an honourable mention, I would go for Luke Cowan at Dundee.
Oh yeah.
I think he's had a fantastic season. He's a terrific footballer. I think he's obviously a boys came from Ayr United. He's had to learn his trade really in terms of getting to the Premier League. It took him a wee bit of time just to get adjusted to it, but he hasn't looked at a place at all. And he's a player that just catches the eye. He's creative, scores goals, sets up goals. Yeah, I think he's a terrific player.
Jim, that's
I think he would be an underestimated player.
Yeah. Jim, that's what I think about Spittle. I remember him at Queen's Park, Partick Thistle, Dundee United, he's came certainly for Queen's Park when I watched him with Robertson as well. The two of them are outstanding. He's always one that I've enjoyed watching, and some of the goals that he scored, I've already said, they've been absolute top draw.
Some great mentions there. In the Premiership, latest scores: Dundee 0, Motherwell 0, Hibs 0, St Johnstone 0, Kilmarnock 0, Ross County 0, Livingston 0, Aberdeen 0, St Mirren 0, Hearts 0. Perhaps the conditions playing a big part.
You saved a bit of time there, Kenny.
I know, but I like to be thorough, chick. Well, we have got goals. We have got goals in the Championship. Airdrie 2, Morton 0, Dunfermline 0, Partick Thistle 1, Inverness County Thistle 0, Arbroath 0, Queen's Park 0, Dundee United 0, Moult the penalty saved there, Wraith Rovers 0, Ayr United 0. In League One this afternoon we have Annan 0, Hamilton Accies 0, Edinburgh City 0, Montrose 0, Queen of the South 0, Kelty Hearts 1, Stirling Albion 0, Alloa Athletic 2. 5:30 start. The champions Falkirk at home to Cove. Cove, of course, going for a place in the playoffs. And in League 2, Bonnyrigg Rose 1, Peterhead 0, Clyde 0, Stranraer 0, Elgin City 0, Spartans 0, Forfar 0, Dumbarton 0, Stennismuir 0, East Fife 0. Steny could be crowned champions this afternoon. In England, it finished Crystal Palace 2, Manchester City 4. That was a lunchtime kick-off. Villa 0, Brentford 0, Everton 0, Burnley 0, Fulham 0, Newcastle 0, Luton 0, Bournemouth 0, Wolves 0, West Ham 0. Wolves have just been awarded a penalty. A reminder, you can watch us. We're on the BBC Scotland channel right now, also on the iPlayer, and you can find a link on the BBC Sports Scot website. It's kind of a bit quiet, hasn't it? There's not a lot happening today, but it's the conditions, isn't it?
We have all the screens in front of us here, and unless I'm missing out, there's nothing happening. Mikey,
the only thing that's happened of note is the penalty kick that should have been given at Easter Road.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a truly horrific decision for the officials. How VAR has obviously looked at it and decided there was none to see there is beyond belief. It really is.
We know what happens though. We've been in this situation before.
Yeah.
Nothing happens in the first half, and then it just becomes bonkers in the second.
I think Donnelly just had a strike there, 25 yards. It was fizzing as well. The goalkeeper took no chances, had to beat it away, but he was swaying whether to blow the referee anyway, because there was somebody down with a head knock.
At least there's a wee cheer there somewhere.
No, it was for Dundee. I always knew he was going to hit it wide. It was just a ball into the box, headed back across, and then I think it was Portalis just at the back post area. The angle's always against him, Kenny. He just smashed it into the back of the net, the side of the net. Sorry, can see why the fans round about me in the back of the stand, they thought it hit the back of the net, but it was always going to hit the side of the net for me.
Yeah, you're speaking, Tom, some of the big programmes in the second half performance. I think back to a few weeks ago, Motherwell, they hung on for a historic win at Ibrox that day, a huge shock. At the same time, mentioning Neil Warnock, his side, I think fairly comfortable Aberdeen, 1-0 up away at St Mirren. Willie called 2 late goals there. that afternoon, so stay tuned. There will be drama, there will be goals, there will be action.
Come on against St Mirren, Kenny, as well here. St Mirren up 2-0, you should know that.
Well, Bill, Joe, still interesting. Dodgy, doing the Scotland game and the Scotland Northern Ireland game, Stephen Robinson was there working for our Northern Ireland colleagues. He joined us about 10 minutes or so pre-match, and he would say it completely ruined the international break for him. I think he usually said he would have gone away and done a wee something, but he just said that game, Tom, you were with me, he just couldn't go over the impact. What happened in that second? He couldn't make any sense of it.
He still looked a little bit stunned, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
So he decided to work instead to cheer himself up.
Honestly, yeah, I know.
Enough to deal with Kenny.
Oh dear.
To be fair, he was happy that night. He saw a very good Northern Ireland win. He was working with our colleagues that night. Dodgy, right, you hit me with your Player of the Year and your honourable mention.
Very much in tune with the boys, Tavernier. I'd give it Shanklin. Majowski would have been there for a while, apart from his wee drought there. But Shanklin for me, an honourable mention. A lot of good names being banded about. I would throw in Marley Watkins here as well. I think 12 goals this season, especially that stunning goal last week against Hearts, and just a powerhouse, isn't he? With
There's
with
a VAR
ability.
check here in Paisley. I'm not quite sure what it's for. It's for a possible handball. It was Vargas who took a touch from a Cochrane free kick and it went out for a corner.
We've got a VAR expert in the studio, Rory, so Michael, take it away.
This will be given.
Should it be given?
I'll need to see it again, but the one replay I've just seen
was out a little bit, wasn't it?
It hit his arm.
It looked like one of those where the supporting arm's down and the other arm's maybe slightly up, but the referee gave a corner. Nobody looked for a penalty, not one Hearts player.
And Rory, what's happening there in the stadium for the fans? I say it's a cellar. Is it the screen in the corner there that tells you a VAR check or what it's for, or just one for their fans' perspective, what they know right now?
He's coming across.
It'll be given, Rory.
They announced.
It'll definitely be given.
You think so, Michael?
I've only seen the one shot. I mean, I'd want to see another replay to definitively say whether I think it should or not, but I'll guarantee you it will be given. You're right. You're right. He was. Sorry, Rory, on you go.
No, I was just going to say experience for the fans. I mean, it's up on the screen. It's a VAR now. They did announce something over the tannoy, and I was scrapping to get my headphones off. It's difficult for me to hear having these on, but pretty quick I think it was. But the lack of shouting or ambition from the Hearts perspective that it was a penalty. Stephen Naismith didn't either. Here we go, Mikey. Penalty given.
Yeah, it's a penalty.
Do you think it's the right call?
Do you know what? Seeing that right now, Kenny, you know my thoughts on these
handballs.
That looks like his arm is up, not in a natural position where you would slide. It just looks to me
again,
like
the listeners, Michael, just talk.
So he's sliding in, as Rory said, and his supporting arm's down near the deck, and his other arm is up.
Yeah.
And to me, it just feels and looks like it's a wee bit higher than where it would naturally be.
Do you think he's trying to protect his face, Michael?
I actually think that it is the right call in this instance.
Yeah, he looked to me as if he was trying to protect the ball hitting his face. No,
I don't know. To me, it just feels like his arm's a bit high. Now, Kenny, you know my view on these. More often than not, I think it's a nonsense when these decisions are given. But I actually do think, having seen the replays, that's probably the right call.
That looks like a shot on target, doesn't it? Looks a shot on target, and the arm does come up. Whether I don't think it's intentional. It's just there. It's in a place it shouldn't be, and I think it's a penalty.
Well, George Grant taking a penalty. Tom, he's just about to step up.
Right, Rory, I'll leave it to you, Rory.
Muir blows the whistle. Here we go. Go right down the middle. Hemming goes to his left-hand side. It's side-footed down the middle. Probably safe in this win, to be honest. Good best bet for him, and Hearts lead 1-0 in Paisley.
Yeah, Kenny, I'm going to be here for a while.
Is that Majowski that's down, Willie?
I think no, Majowski's standing there. I'm trying to
it's
find
McGrath.
out who is it.
It's Jamie
McGrath
McGrath
went down with Nottingham. You can see. I mean, I think it's the fourth or the fifth head collision that the doctors have had to be on to give some serious attention to in this first half. So this is going to be a long first half. I think it looks as though both are sitting up. So that's good news. But the amount of head knocks that we've had, quite unbelievable in this first 45 minutes.
That's going to be part of it, the windy day.
Oh, it's incredible here as well. Vassell's just gone down. They had a VAR check a second ago, and I swear that the girl in the tannoy just announced it, and within not even 5 seconds she'd announced that it wasn't. There's been like 5 or 6 people down with head knocks. Michael, you were talking earlier on the programme about it's better try to get the ball down and play it. Teams just don't want to take chances, so it's getting hoofed, and the amount of headers in this game and head knocks like Willie is nothing short of incredible.
But the thing is, once you hoof it up in the air, that just becomes a lot. That is actually playing into the difficulties.
little half chance there.
Can I just say as well
for Dundee, guys? Sorry, Rory. Just a in-swinging corner kick from Costello. No, it breaks the then coming Cameron struck it well enough, but blocked by one of the defenders. It's one of the few strikes that we've had this afternoon.
We'll take it. It's been a quiet one so far.
Stephen Robinson might mention
goes
this
down
after
in the box.
game.
Have a look at this. Never a penalty for me. Hibs fans are screaming for it. Ryan McGowan with the challenge. He might have been offside as well when the ball's played through. He goes down. No penalty for me.
Caught on the wrong side, Michael.
Well, I mean, it's difficult to see from a wide-angle shot like that. Lafondra doesn't look like he's really climbing too much either. He sort of throws his arms out as if to say, you know, I've not dived, but he's onside. It looks like he's onside. Difficult because it's so bright on the screen. I'll tell you now, we'll get a better view of it.
Oh, what's he doing, Lindsay? Yes! Brilliant from Bakayoko. Heads it back across the goal. And there was McGee just to nod it home. It's brilliant play from the centre forward. You know, quite easily could have went for goal, but thought, no, the angle's against him. Heads it across, and Jordan McGee, simple task, head it into the back of the net. And they probably deserve it. They've had most of the possession, so, yep, we've got a goal, Kenny.
Good stuff,
Dundee.
And that will not go down well at Easter Road, you'd have to say. Hibs, Dundee and St Mirren battling for the top 6 places. St Mirren behind at home to Hearts, Dundee ahead at home to Motherwell. Still stalemate at Easter Road. Wolves scored that penalty 1-0 up at home to West Ham United. Elgin City 0. Spartans 1. Blair Henderson on 34 minutes. And that is you right up to date with all the goals. Yes.
Back pass Beniel. Oh, it's actually, I think it is Beniel. Goes right out the ground for a corner. But Kenny, is the Edinburgh City game been abandoned?
No, but Alan, what it is, it's come up as half time. So on the video printer, Alan, it came up about 15 minutes ago that it was half time in that game.
It's been abandoned because of the wind.
Yes, I've been trying to find that out. It was a strange one. So the video, but just trying to find it, spool back. At 3:26, Alan, half time, Edinburgh City 0, Montrose 0. So did they actually kick off a bit early, or?
It's a quick half.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been abandoned. Yeah, it's been confirmed. Been abandoned, Alan.
It's literally what, 2-3 miles from there at Easter Road.
And how tough is it there, Alan?
Really
Give us an idea what it's like.
It's very, very blustery, Kenny. It is. You know, but I've got to say, I think St Johnstone have played well. Hibs haven't really created that much. They've had what looked like should have been a penalty kick. With Michael telling us that. Davies had a deflected shot just wide of the target, but St Johnstone are difficult to break down, and the Hibs fans are getting frustrated, especially with that goal scored up at Dens Park.
It's becoming draining here at Rugby Park as well. You know how it's open, Kenny, with these big 4 stands. You would think it would give some protection, but I mean, Baldwin took a throw in, and just to describe it to you, this right hand side in the main stand, threw it and launched into the box. Bit of wind behind him, got there, probably got to about penalty spot, and between penalty spot and 6-yard line, took one from the left hand side, and it never even reached the 18-yard line. It was farcical, it really is. It's getting that way, and I can see it draining the players. I feel for them. The only thing winning today is the elements.
But if you started the game, Billy, no matter how bad the conditions are, you want to finish at a player, don't you?
Yeah, of course. But especially when you see that Dundee Motherwell game today, when you see the pressure being put on before the split, so they'll be wanting to finish this game. This will finish, no problem. But it's a hard watch. It's a hard watch at times.
Yeah, they all look very much the same today. Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah, a chance. I can't begin to tell you how much pressure Dundee United have put on Queen's Park throughout this first half. They've had 4 clean-cut chances, 2 fantastic saves from Callum Ferry, shots on target, all over Queen's, and Queen's just made a break up the park, and Jack Turner should have scored. United are, forgive the pun, in the conditions, but huffing and puffing a lot here, and they'll go into this wind in the second half. We've played nearly 40 minutes now, Kenny, and United, I think, would be very grateful if they could get a goal before half time, and because Queen's Park got more of the pressure given that wind in the second half.
Check, I just have to remind Tom English that we're live in the telly, just with his reaction there to that wee line from you there about huffing and puffing.
I like it, Chick. I love your work. I love your work, Chick.
I wish they would pay me more for it.
Annan Athletic 0, Hamilton Accies 1, own goal by Tommy Muir on 38 minutes. Aston Villa 1, Brentford 0, Ollie Watkins on 39 minutes. It's quiet, isn't it? It's just
that's the Ollie Watkins who I've just transferred out of my fantasy league team.
Was that right?
That Ollie Watkins.
One thing I would say, Kenny, is which might, be be mentioned by Stephen Robinson afterwards. And the lead up to that goal, it came from a free kick initially, the penalty incident, but just before that, Macaulay Tate seemed to quite clearly handball, used his hand, to control the ball in the middle of the pitch. Now, it didn't come directly from that. There was a few passages of play between then, but I don't think someone actually touched the ball before the free kick was won, and it did, to me, look like a clear free kick as well. So just with the lack of action happening at the moment, I thought I may bring that up because I think it may be mentioned by Robinson after the match.
That's a good point. Liverpool playing some nice football here in the wind on the surface, and it was Stephen Kelly there that had the strike and a good save from Kel Roos, but they're dominating the ball, and they're, goalkeeper to two centre backs and building it up from the back on the ground. So it's very pleasant in the eye, even although we've had these head knocks. Liverpool playing well.
I was just saying, it's a good point. I mean, I've not seen the incident, but if it's a clear handball controlling it, then, irrelevant of whether there's a passage of play in between that and the penalty kick being given or not, you would think if he's controlled it with his hand, it should be a free kick.
Yengi's dancing in the box.
I don't think VAR could go back to it. That's the only thing, Michael.
No, I'm just meaning, like, at the time, you would think the referee should have given it.
Certainly seemed clear enough to me, anyway.
Emiliano Marcondes is trying to take a corner, and the corner flag's hit him in the head. You'll see it. I don't know how he's going to be able to take this. I genuinely don't. If you can watch it,
right,
just see the flag.
Tom's wanting the corner flag to get punished.
The ball's not going to stay.
You to get punished.
No, here we are. We're seeing it now.
We're seeing it now.
Oh my goodness!
Wow. Just take the thing out. Like, is that not
allowed that?
Oh,
you're not allowed to do that.
What are these conditions?
It is a blustery corner.
Yes. Do you know what? It's interesting. Every time I look up, there's like an injury or a stoppage. It's just really bitty today, isn't it?
It's Josh Reed here.
Very busy.
Well, Kenny, just on the Dundee situation with the Dundee pitch, Stuart Kettlewell's comments before the game with regards to the player safety. One thing I would bring up as well, and me and Michael did discuss this a couple of weeks ago, we had a difference of opinion, which is of course absolutely fine. But I was thinking about it afterwards. In terms of players these days getting injured, Derek brought up Blair Spittle. Now, Blair Spittle signed a pre-contract at Hearts, so he's secure. But players going into that game who are out of contract in the summer, and I was in that position, I get really badly injured, have insurance policies. Clubs have insurance policies with regards to covering players for injuries. Some clubs play up front at the start of the season, other ones do it on a case-by-case basis, and a lot of players these days have private insurance. So if the decision is made by the referee that the game shouldn't go ahead and the two clubs come together and decide they're going to play anyway, insurance policies, these companies will ask a lot of questions. And I had a policy which covered and paid my wages and my bills and my mortgage for a couple of months over the summer when I had no club. These insurance policies will not pay out if they hear that a game is going ahead without the relevant authorities saying it should go ahead. So that's why I think it's important that it comes from the top and the decision is made by the people that it should be made by and not by the clubs.
Yeah, I mean, it's made by the referee. I'm presuming consultation with perhaps referee chiefs today, but certainly the feeling has been
but
that...
The point that was made a couple of weeks ago, Kenny, was that the players and the clubs should come together, and if they want to play the game, they should be able to play it. But that in then turn, in my opinion, would cause potential ramifications for players further down the line if there is to be a serious injury.
Was that the point you were making, Michael, at that time?
Well, Rory's misconstrued that, obviously. I think he's
what
getting...
do you mean, obviously?
Well, I think he's... Well, because of what he's just said, I think he's getting into the realms of thinking it's some sort of wildcat game that wouldn't officially count.
That's unbelievable.
Obviously...
Put it to the players and the clubs to decide, was what you said, Michael.
If the players and the clubs were able to decide that they wanted to play the game, then it would be incumbent on the authorities to say, OK, the game goes ahead. It's not against the authorities.
Of course it is, Michael, because if they've been advised by the people that should make the rules,
his head is in his hands, Rory. I paint the picture. The head's in the hands.
Yeah, but see the thing is, Kenny. See if the correct process is taking place and it's advised this game should not go ahead, and then you go to the players, which is what Michael said, and the staff of both clubs, and they decide they want to play anyway. Any insurance company would turn around and go, well, on that basis, if you were advised by the people who are to make the decision not to play the game, then the game shouldn't have been played.
That scenario would never...
It's not difficult, it's not hard.
That scenario would never arise, though, Rory. I mean, it's the authority... Because the authorities have to make the decision. They're the ultimate
Yes, but that's the point,
adjudicator on this.
that Michael was making the point that should be able to happen. Common sense should take place, and the clubs and the players of both sides should decide whether the game gets played or not.
He's
tell me what's wrong.
He's saying that's not what he said.
It's interesting for us. Explain what
that is
your
the
angle
point
is.
Michael made.
So
Half time at Easter Road, Hibs booed off 0-0.
Thanks, Al.
So
I mean, we can laugh and we can use
off.
certain words, but that is what you said, Michael.
no, I'm laughing at that's half. It doesn't anyway. Look,
Alan, sorry,
right.
just to change the subject here. Alan, Preston, Hibs booed off.
We're booed off, I'm afraid. It's not created a lot. It's not been. Listen, the conditions are horrendous.
Yes. Go.
Dundee United have made the breakthrough right on in almost a stroke of 45 minutes. 10 seconds to go before we go to time added on. Ball in from the right hand side and it's whipped into the middle. I think it might be Kai Fotheringham with the touch. Confirm in a minute, but it is Queen's Park 0, Dundee United 1.
Right, so anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that.
Oh, we're not still going on about this.
Well, yeah, because Rory's, confused, and I want to try and, clear things up for him.
Half time, guys. Dundee 1, Motherwell 0.
Thanks, Derek.
The point is, look,
Anyone who listens to that podcast 2 weeks ago, Michael, would see that's clearly what you said.
Jim Duffy.
Yeah, it's the first time Dylan Easton has really got himself involved in the game. As you can imagine, the ball's just been swerving about all the time, but it switched out to him on that left-hand side. He cut into the edge of the box, 20 yards out, and absolutely lashed it into the far corner. A magnificent goal from an outstanding player. Sadly, we haven't seen too much of him, but when he was asked to come up with the goods, he's certainly done that. Right on 45 minutes, 1-0 Wraith Rovers.
Half-time 0-0 at Rugby Park, Kenny.
Thanks, Dodge. It's a Tony Watt with that goal for Dundee United right in the stroke of half-time, and just a few seconds later Dylan Easton with a goal there as well. So Wraith Rovers ahead and Dundee United ahead. Yes,
Kenny, it wasn't Tony Watts, but Kai Fotheringham that scored it.
Well,
as I suggested.
You did.
I don't care who you're reading.
No, I'm just all I'm reading is the video print. The reason I go with the video print is because some of the sites check, particularly the games where there's VAR, they will award the goal and it comes up as a goal. Listen, and then it gets taken away. But I'm telling you,
I've just had the nod of approval to me from Wally Young, so it's definitely absolutely correct.
And actually Dundee United have also given it to Fotheringham, so I'm just telling you it was on the video print. It's Fotheringham with a goal there, two big goals there.
Accept your grovelling excuse.
Yeah, I apologise to you. Check Queen's Park 0, Dundee United 1. It's just been changed. Kai Fotheringham with a goal there right in the stroke of half-time, and Dylan Easton with a goal. Wraith Rovers 1, Ayr United 0.
I mean, I'm amazed, Kenny, a man of your experience, disagreeing with Chick.
I should know better. I should know better.
It is scandalous, Chick.
do you want me to give you a quick synopsis of what was going on with this debate?
No.
Okay.
Wait till half-time and we'll do it.
I want more about the Hibs booing off. Is that not a... Mikey, we talked about it before. The manager, was it, how would he be viewed right now? We had a good old debate pre-match. Booed off. I'm surprised at that.
Half time here, Kenny.
I'm surprised at that.
Yeah, Wraith Rovers.
Thanks, Jim. He's got... I mean, listen,
Right, so okay, before
Right.
you talk, let me just go into it. Right, if we're talking about insurance policies, the point is that if the game was to go ahead, I was advocating for there to be a little bit more power for the clubs and the players to be able to decide what is going on. If they were to decide that, then of course the authorities would be backing up that decision. It wouldn't be some sort of wild
It's not what you said, Michael.
Oh
It's
my
not what you said.
God! Oh my God!
What you said was, if the authorities feel the game, you can say, "Oh my God!" It doesn't change the facts, Michael. You can sit there and you can patronise it down.
Rory, you
The
think I
facts
was
of the matter
advocating?
is you said-
You think I was advocating some sort of wildcat game? Is that genuinely what you think? Is that genuinely what you think?
It's 1-0 Dundee
If the
United.
authorities-
Do you genuinely
If the
think I was
authorities-
advocating a wildcat game? As a
Right.
question.
Well, let me reply
That's a
to
question.
that.
Out of what?
Do you think I was advocating a wildcat game?
If the authorities...
Rory, do you
say the
think
game
I was
shouldn't go ahead,
advocating
yet
a
the
wildcat
two-
game?
Michael.
Rory,
come on,
it's a
let me answer,
genuine,
would
it's a
you?
simple question.
Michael,
Well, guys, we're going to have to go back to this.
It's a simple question, Rory. Do you think I was advocating
simple
a
question.
wildcat game?
Well, what you said was if the
Do you-
authorities say
yes
the
or
game
no?
should go ahead and
It's
the two
yes or
clubs
no.
come together
Rory, it's
and
yes or
decide
no.
that they should
It's
play
yes or
the
no.
game, then the
Yes or no.
clubs should be allowed to play
Yes
the game.
or no?
Right, do you know what? We're not going to reach a consensus in this
It's
right now.
no,
We can
no,
make-
no, no,
no,
it's an
wait, Michael, we
important
need to
point.
come back. We need to get around the ground.
Saying the
We need to
clubs,
get around the ground.
The
Michael,
clubs
okay,
could,
look,
the-
we understand both
wait,
the points.
The
Let's
clubs
move
could
on.
go and play a game
Let's move
anytime
on.
they want. The point is, If they go and play a game, they could go and play the game at their training ground. It's not an official match. Anybody with any understanding would understand the point being made that the players and the clubs I was advocating should be given a little bit more responsibility to decide what was going on.
Right, we may pick this up later on because we will hear from both managers.
Tedious. Please no.
Right,
tedious beyond belief.
Okay, so Willie, still playing in your game. A fair bit of stops. I know, Willie, speak for a couple of minutes, would you, please?
No, it's fine. It's been good listening. But I'm quite happy that you've moved on. What's happening here?
So am I, Willie.
It's still a decent game of football. I mean, the conditions are poor. It's not helping the players, but there's a lot of effort trying to keep the ball down and try to play constructive stuff. Two chances for Livingston and one for Aberdeen. The Miofsky one, probably the best of the three, should have scored with it. But we had 9 minutes added on. And it was all for head knocks, 5 head knocks in the first half. It's pretty dangerous out there, even although they're still trying to play some football. Whenever the ball is coming off the surface, and the players are finding it really difficult to judge in the air, hence the head knocks. But no, I'm quite enjoying it. It's 0-0. It's not the most exciting game, but it's okay. It's okay. It's better than December last year. That was just an awful 0-0 game. So I'm hoping for goals perhaps in the second half.
Half-time in Paisley as well, 1-0 Hearts.
Thanks, Rory.
Willie, did all of those 5 players carry on, or did any of them have to be removed from the pitch?
It was Bradley. No, wait a minute. Brandon, it was. No, I keep getting him too mixed up. Brandon had to go off to get stitched up, or whatever they did to his forehead, and then he came back on again. So he was off for 5 minutes. The rest just get back up. Yenge actually took a boot from Jensen. Now Yenge is 6'6", and the ball bounced in front of him. He went to it with his head. He stooped a little bit, but Jensen came through with his boot. You know, it was like a high kick, and it took him out in his forehead, and he went down. The referee didn't do anything. For me, it was a yellow card for Jensen, but the referee just ignored it.
Willie, have any of them made an insurance claim against the authorities for this yet?
I can maybe try and check that out though, and see, maybe how much the premiums are and what it actually covers.
I hope Rory's away for a cup of tea at this point. I have to say.
Imagine being Mrs. Stewart. They're debating what they're having for their dinner.
I've met her. She's a lovely lady, and you know what? She doesn't talk with any nonsense.
A saint of a woman.
Yeah. Yes, he is a challenge. There is no doubt.
High maintenance, Kenny. High maintenance.
Sorry, guy. This is extreme. 6th head knock.
Wow.
And
my God.
9 minutes added on. It's Richard Jensen that has got it in this time. And
you spoke about this, Tom, haven't you?
Yeah, and it's hard.
Concerns around it.
Yeah,
the extent of the seriousness of.
I've written a lot about it, but about rugby,
Yes.
over many years, and I think football. It's hard to judge each individual case because you can't really see it that closely. But I think football has a long way to go to fully grasp the seriousness of head knocks. I hope all those players are fine. I presume they are because they're most of them carried on. But it's you see some, and you see a player and is clearly affected by a head knock, and he's allowed to carry on.
That's half time. Half time at Livingston 0-0.
I just hope all those players are okay, because it's especially in these conditions when the boys were saying about the windy conditions, the ball in the air a lot. It's potential for a bad injury, and that's 6. I've never seen that in rugby, Willie. That's a mind football.
No, I mean, listen, it's been a challenging first half for all the players out there. Not too many goals around, but some really important matches today. So stay with us on Sports Sound. Halftime reports to come.
All the grounds, all the goals, all the news.
This is Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland. On BBC iPlayer.
Tokyo Station.
Okay, let's do this.
Get my little race head on.
We will be stopping at every station.
Come on, Mum, come on. Let's go. Just push it through. Go, go, go.
Race Across the World is back.
Because I'll tell you now, there's no way I'm not going to give up.
5 intrepid duos travel from Japan to Indonesia.
I think we will win. War, confident.
With no phones, bank cards or directions.
Mum, they're behind us. Run!
The brand new series of Race Across the World starts Wednesday on BBC iPlayer.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. And a reminder, we are live on BBC Scotland today, also on the iPlayer, and you will find a link on the BBC Sport Scot website to watch us there as well. Let's get around the grounds for some half-time reports, starting at Dens Park. Dundee at home to Motherwell. There for us, Derek Ferguson.
Kenny will keep it pretty short. It's at the moment it's Dundee 1, Motherwell 0. It's been a tough watch for the most part in difficult conditions. Dundee had more of the ball, probably because of the wind behind them as well. They created a couple of half chances before taking the lead in 36 minutes. It was Cameron out on that right hand side with the cross, finding the head of Bakayoko, and he does really well to nod the ball back across that 6-yard box to the incoming Jordan McGee to steer home with his head from close range. That's about it, Kenny. Motherwell this afternoon, for this first 45 minutes, not really been at it. That's how we stand at the moment. It's Dundee 1, Motherwell 0.
Thanks to Derek Ferguson. Just a late goal coming in the Championship. It's an important goal. Inverness Caley Thistle 1, Arbroath 0. Wallace Duffy with that goal in the 48th minute of that first half there. Let's then get to Easter Road. Hibs against St Johnstone, and hear from Alan Preston.
The half-time score, Kenny, is Hibs 0, St Johnstone 0, and Hibs should have had a penalty in 10 minutes. It's a deflected shot, goes up in the air. Marcondes runs in, the keeper Mitov comes out. Marcondes gets his head to it, Mitov nowhere near it. Clark's the player, referee Grant Irvin says no. VAR equally said no, and the chance had gone. 12 minutes on, Newell Lovely 1-2 in the leader, but his shot was over. Then St Johnstone came into the game, 24 minutes, Sadibi was through, deflected shot just wide of the target with Marshall beaten. Then Sadibi again wins the ball off Fish, plays it to Clark, and his shot was deflected wide also for a corner. It's not been great here at Easter Road. Half-time score, Hibernian 0, St Johnstone 0.
Thanks, Alan. Next stop, Rugby Park, Kilmarnock up against Ross County. Let's hear from Billy Dodds.
Stalemate here at half-time, conditions in top at Rugby Park. It's farcical at times, to be honest with you, but it started brightly first minute. Armstrong cross, in-swinger away to the back post. Kennedy caught it in a volley from 6 yards, and I think Wickens got a touch that made it go onto the post. 15 minutes, Brophy volleyed just over, and then County threatened again after 22. Randall cross, Effetti with a header, but it produced a decent stop from Walton. On the half-hour mark, a couple of killy chances. Donnelly threatened with a long-range strike, which Wickens had to beat away, and a pull with corner was met powerfully by I think it was it was Donnelly who got it at the near post, outswinger, and got it brilliantly. It was flying in, and Wickens beat it away again. Just before half time, Brophy hooked wide and White shot over, but that's been about it. Really, no good chances in the game so far. Half time at Rugby Park, it's Kilmarnock 0, Ross County 0.
Thanks, Billy. Let's then get to Amon Vale, Livingston at home to Aberdeen, and hear from Willie Miller.
Yeah, Kenny, like the rest of the guys, the wind is making it very difficult for the players out there, but I think they deserve a lot of credit for trying to get the ball down and pass it. I won't go into the head knocks because we don't have enough time to cover all the head knocks that I've had in the first 45 minutes. Not too many opportunities, Livingston having a couple. Daniel Mackay drills one in from the left-hand side, and Stephen Bradley coming in at the back post. He should do much better. He's got to find the target. His header slips past that far post. It was a big opportunity for him, and he didn't take it. Stephen Kelly had an opportunity as well. Good strike from outside the box. It was well saved by Kel Roos. In between that, Bojan Majowski, the old Bojan Majowski would have finished it no problem whatsoever, right through, down the middle. He didn't look confident approaching the ball. He didn't set it up properly. He's drilled it low, and Jamal George has saved it quite easily, to be perfectly honest. So 3 opportunities in the first half. It's 0-0 at half time. We're hopeful that it's going to brighten up, but after my last visit here it finished 0-0. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the score at the end of the day this afternoon.
Yeah, difficult conditions. A sellout crowd in Paisley this afternoon. St Mirren at home to Hearts. Let's hear from Rory Loy.
Yes, indeed. The crowd were making a lot of noise at the start of the game, but it slowly drifted as the game was. It's been a nothing half, to be honest with you, Kenny. The wind's played a big part in it. I do sympathise with the players. I think there's a lot of good players out there, but they haven't been able to show it because of the wind. St Mirren on the one side, anything they play forward is just running out of play, and Hearts can barely get the ball over the halfway line before it gets blown back again. However, there has been a goal, and it came for Hearts. It was a free kick by Alex Cochrane, played in. Vargas took a good first touch, went to shoot. and the defender was adjudged to have handled the ball as he tried to slide and block. The corner was given initially, however, it did go to VAR. The penalty was awarded by Alan Muir, and George Grant stepped up, made no mistake whatsoever, putting the ball down the middle of the goals. That has been the one and only real chance of the half. Hearts have taken it, so at half-time it's St Mirren 0, Hearts 1.
Dundee 1, Motherwell 0, Hibs 0, St Johnstone 0, Kilmarnock 0, Ross County 0, Livingston 0, Aberdeen 0, St Mirren 0, Hearts 1. Just looking at the table then, Celtic 74 points, Rangers with a game in hand 73. We'll look ahead to that big game tomorrow later in the programme. Hearts well clear in third spot, 59 points, Kilmarnock 46. It gets really interesting now in terms of the race for the top 6. St Mirren 5th, 43 points. Dundee 6th, 42 points. They have that game in hand at home to Rangers on Wednesday night, of course, pitch permitting. Hibs 7th in the table, 39 points. So a lot of work to do for Nick Montgomery's team in the second half there at Easter Road. Let's get into the Championship and get to the game between Airdrie and Morton and hear from Kasim Sheikh.
Afternoon. Well, it started off very much with a bang for Airdrie when they scored in the first minute of the game. Ball given away by Morton. They'll be regretting that. Nikolai Todorov found himself going through. I think the wind played a part. It went into the keeper's top right corner, but the wind just seemed to sail over the keeper's head. And then at 15 minutes, the ball was getting played around at the edge of the box, just outside the Greenock Morton box by Airdrie. They crossed it in, it swirled around and it fell at the feet of Charlie Telfer, who hit a fine right-footed shot into the bottom right corner of the keeper. That made the score 2-0 at that stage to Airdrie against Morton, and it wasn't until around 32 minutes that Greenock Morton had the first great chance of the half. Headed on by George Oakley, and Jack Byrne found himself through on goal and he struck it straight off the keeper. And that is about it from Excelsior at this stage. Things stand Airdrie 2, Greenock Morton 0.
Thanks, Kasim. Next stop, the National Stadium, Queen's Park up against Dundee United. Let's hear from Chick Young.
Half time, it's as to both teams actually coming out for the second half. It's Queen's Park 0, Dundee United 1. You know, I've got a creak in my neck looking down towards the Mount Florida end of Hampden Park because it was all Dundee United, chance after chance, shots on target. Incredible moment with a double save from Callum Ferry, and one actually came off the crossbar, and then he got from about, it must have been a yard. How he saved that, I don't know. United tried everything to get the ball over the line. They had to wait to the very threshold of half-time, just 17 seconds I think it was before the whistle was going to go up, apart from time added on. Of course, when the guy Fotheringham crossed on the right-hand side and Fotheringham swept the ball into the net to give United, I think, a huge sigh of relief from the support and indeed the lead that they probably deserve. But it's going to be a different story in this second half because it's Queens who will have the wind at their back as they shoot down towards the Mount Florida end of Hampden Park. It's an interesting game. It's difficult for the players. There have been some outrageous occasions. There was a shot from the halfway line for United from Miller Thompson for a free kick, and he wasn't that far away, just tucked over the crossbar. So that's the kind of wind we've got at Hampden. It is a tale of gone with the wind at the moment for Queen's Park, but it could be all so different in the second half. Maybe we're bringing on Clark Gable. Half time is Queen's Park 0, Dundee United 1.
Good stuff from Chick Young there. Let's then get to Kirkcaldy. Wraith Rovers at home to Ayr United. What's happening there, Jim Duffy?
Yes, half time is 1-0 to Wraith Rovers. There wasn't much between the teams, although Wraith Rovers did have a little bit more of the territory. There was a little bit of a scare early on in the game. The first few minutes, Nick McAllister get booked within 3 minutes for a challenge on James Brown, and I think he was a bit nervous after that because, as the guys have all mentioned, once or twice when the ball's swirling to go into challenge, somebody put the brakes on. But Ayr United didn't have one single effort in goal, didn't have a corner, didn't just have any threat whatsoever. But just before half time, a great switch of play out to Dylan Easton. We all know what kind of quality he's got. His first touch was excellent. He cut inside Stanger, and he absolutely lashed it right in the top corner, giving Wraith Rovers a very, very important 1-0 advantage, particularly with Dundee United scoring just before half time. So Wraith Rovers are not going anywhere in this championship title race. Just kicking off here in the second half, 1-0 Wraith Rovers.
Yeah, it looks like it's gone right to the wire. So Airdrie 2, Morton.
Here's a chance for St Johnstone. Sadibi's clean through. Goal! Hibernian now, St Johnstone wants Sadibi. It's a great ball down the line. He times his run. It's at a tight angle. Marshall comes out and he whips it beyond him into the back of the net. 48 minutes on the clock. Hibernian 0, St Johnstone 1.
That's a big goal, Michael, and I just wonder if it backs up Alan's point. You're talking the progression on the Nick Montgomery. Alan said certainly not defensively. That was really poor, wasn't it?
Terrible defensively for Hibs to be on the attack on the edge of St Johnstone's box, for one simple ball to be in behind the back line and Sidibe to run through and score. Terrible from Hibs on a defensive aspect, and it's exactly what they don't need with Dundee being 1-0 up at home to Motherwell, and they've now fallen one behind. It makes the job of making the top six all the more difficult.
Yeah, apparently there's going to be a check for a potential penalty
close.
at the other end.
Penalty?
Oh, so they're saying.
I was just looking at the offside, possibly.
For a
He's
potential
right.
handball, Michael, at the other end, if you can let us know.
Well, all we're seeing is Sidibe running through, and it's close to whether he's. I'm just thinking, is he offside potentially? I'm not seen any clips about a penalty at the other end. And by the way, it makes it, it's a side note in this, because it doesn't detract from the fact it's terrible defence.
He runs in behind Bashiri, doesn't he? I think he runs in behind him. I think he's onside there.
No, but it's actually, looking at the other end, this happened recently in the game, wasn't it? A team up the park and scored. The goal was African Cup of Nations. The goal was chopped off to all the way back to a penalty.
Just let me explain what's going on, Kenny.
Right.
Hibs are trying to go for the goal's been given.
Right.
Hold on. The ball's coming off. Yep, swapping balls as we know.
Aye, so
this is
in
the balls.
It's a new thing to do. If a goal is scored, the ball has now been taken off the park and it's been auctioned to raise some money, and the ball's been replaced. So that's happened. So just talk us through what happened in the incident, Alan.
Well, as a ball played through and Sidibe's on, he's bent his run lovely. It looked tight, but you're telling me he's onside, and he's clearly onside. He runs through and at the angle. It's a wonderful finish from him. He beats Marshall. All ends up, hits the ball into the side netting. Now, there was a potential check for a penalty in the St Johnstone box prior to that, and clearly the check for the offside, which wasn't given. Hibs thought they positioned the ball just inside their own half. They thought it was a free kick for offside, so they positioned the ball back here. When the goal's given, the ball's obviously swapped off because it's getting auctioned, and it's 1-0. And I was just saying to Mike at the start of the programme, Michael, and I'll reiterate it again, the 30-odd games that Montgomery's had in charge, he's not had a statement result. He's not had a big result. And this again today proves that. If they don't get in the top six, I don't know how they can survive.
Well,
wait a minute, Alan. You're saying that there'll be serious question marks over his position tonight if they don't turn this around?
I'm not saying tonight, but I'm just saying, but the investment that's coming into Hibs, they don't make the top six with the money that they've spent. And by the way, St Johnstone are on again. They could score again here. Flood in the box. No, ball's away. I just think the investment here, the Hibs fans will demand more. Has there been a big difference, big change? If they don't get in the top six, it's been a worse season. I mean, Nick Montgomery came in early on in the season. It's not as if he's came in halfway, with 20 games gone. He came in 6-7 games in. He's also had a window, Michael. Yeah, I get that. He's had a window, but I still don't think that he's had a statement result as a manager of Hibernian FC.
Right, and beating St Johnstone at home is not going to be a statement result. So that.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm a statement result. I'm saying to you, Stephen A. Smith beating Celtic at Parkhead, beating Celtic at Tynecastle.
Losing to them would be a statement result of another kind.
Yep. So, but I go back to it. You think that Nick Montgomery should be sacked?
No, I think they should look at his. They should look at it. I think the Hibs fans will want him to look at it.
Well, I'm asking you what you think. Do you think he should be sacked?
I think there's a question to be asked. Yes.
So you would sack him?
I'm not saying. I said there's a question to be asked. The board have a discussion about it.
And what would your view be? That it should stay or go?
Well, I think if I'm a Hibs fan, which
I'm just asking you, Alan, what you think.
Well, I think his job would be very, very difficult.
I mean, they're boot off at half-time at 0-0. They're now 1-0 down.
This is, by the way, there's no getting away from this as a terrible situation for Hibs to be in. But I'm looking at this objectively, and at what
Hibs, you're seeing others aren't.
What Nick Montgomery came into at Hibs was a shambles.
He's been here for the vast majority of the season. They're in 7th place. Yeah. That's the 49th goal. 49th league goal they've conceded.
Tom.
A chance. Oh, and I think he was offside. It was Bear through 1-1 with the goalkeeper, and there we go with this rule. He's allowed to go on. The keeper's come out. Looks as if the keeper's hurt himself. So that's one of them. You can clearly see from where I'm sitting and certainly where the linesman was, it was clearly offside. And you get a coming together. Thankfully, the keeper's up, but should still be tucking that away. Bear through 1-1. Look for a little dink.
just while the boys were sorry, Fergie.
No, you're...
Just while the boys were discussing there, Kilmarnock nearly took the lead. It was an unbelievable strike from Danny Armstrong. Here's a chance. Oh, what a save! Simon Murray curls it, and it's a brilliant save by Dennis. Just palms it away. But at the other end, Aina got an important flick because I was sitting right behind it. It was flying right in the top corner, and it just cleared the crossbar. So chances at both ends now.
Right, let me give you some goals. Elgin City 1, Spartans 1. Brian Cameron with that goal in 48 minutes. Aston Villa 2, Brentford 0. Morgan Rogers with the second there for Villa. 4-0, Dumbarton 1. Tony Wallace from the penalty spot on 52. Bonnie Groves 1, Peter Head 1. Hamish Ritchie with that goal on 54 minutes. And Luton 0, Bournemouth 1. Marcus Tavernier on 52 minutes. Michael, I'm just interested to know the progress, because you've been saying this for a few weeks now, the progress that used to. And interesting, we've got a Hibs fan will join us. So 5:30 tonight till 7 o'clock, fan reaction.
So trying to get away from being such a extremist discussion here, I'm not trying to make out that Hibs are like some sort of finished article and they look brilliant and they're great. They're not. What I'm trying to say is that when Nick Montgomery went into that club, he didn't have the summer transfer window. He had a squad that, for me, was imbalanced, was then suffering from injuries to some key players. They'd spent close to £1 million on a striker who couldn't score, and they didn't really have any other options up there. I think sort of muddied his way through, and Alan's absolutely spot on, and I was saying this from the start of the season, defensively, no good enough. Then they came into January, and I think by any metric being used, you could see that January was a good window. And I think performances on the whole have picked up since January.
Not defensively, it wasn't.
But I think performances have picked up since January. Now, this result, or this performance here today, absolutely not good enough, not what's expected of Hibs. But I'm sitting back and looking at this and saying, well, what are the alternatives? Do you think you're going to sack Nick Montgomery and do something else? I don't think that would be the correct decision personally, because I think I can see enough in what's going on in that January window and with the performances since then that I would be given a bit more time.
They'll equalise! They have! Chris Cadden! That is brilliant play on the left-hand side. Really, really good play by Molida. Cuts inside. That's a shot off. Good save by Mitov. It's back to Cadden. And from about 10 yards, he smashes into the back of the net. Hibernian 1, St Johnstone 1.
Timing's important, isn't it?
There we go.
Kenny, just as that goal was scored there, best move of the game came from Motherwell. Brilliant play, great link-up play between Beer and Spittle. Spittle just inside the box, just leaning back a little bit, just unlike himself and just skying over the bar. But certainly a lot better in this second half for Motherwell, getting themselves forward, creating chances.
There's a defender that's just come back, missed a big chunk of the season for him.
Chris Cadden, he's an important player.
The point you can make on Montgomery, I think, or at least the point I would make, is that he has a decent squad now. Right? It's not great, but it's a decent squad, and I think the owners, Bill Foley and the rest of them, will be looking for more from him, from these players. And if they don't get it, I'm not saying now, but if they don't get it, come the summer, he could be in trouble.
Tom, you have to give any manager time. It's unbelievable how they're scoring goals. He started off as a 4-4-2. That's what, but obviously he didn't have the players. He then looked at the Scottish game. He didn't know really anything about the Scottish game. Defensively, they're a shambles, absolutely. But if you look at somebody like Derek McInnes, for instance, Derek McInnes last year went in, made Kilmarnock difficult to play against, hard to beat. With all his Scottish experience, and then says, right, what do we need to add now? We need to add firepower and a little bit more creativity. He's done that in the second season. You have to give him another season. And as I say that, Logan Chalmers has just equalised for United. Not too dissimilar. A left-footed player this time playing the right, cuts inside and then just fired it, and it just fizzed past Kevin Dabrowski. So 1-1 here now at Raith Rovers. But for me, you can't sort out all the departments within a few months. As Michael was saying there,
it's most of the season,
sometimes
you get most of the season.
But he's not had one window.
Still a few months. It's still only a few months, Tom. You're maybe looking at it and might think
he's had one window.
Yeah, but he might want to play a certain system. He does all the players. He's brought the likes of Malida in and guys like that who have done really well. He's brought in some good players, and he's still likes of Boyle's been a big miss at a lot of times. There's been a number of things that he's brought to sort out.
On the break.
He needs a bit of time.
Let's check. Wait a minute, check.
Stuart McKinstry has one of the changes has been listed down there, but it's a goal for United, a break from nothing. They've got a second goal. Kenny, identify the scorer in a second. The ball just over the line, clearly on the break, and as I have to say, Queen's Park were getting themselves back into it. They were making a treble substitution. Killian Sheridan and Cammy Bruce and Mackenzie Cass all coming on at one treble substitution, but it's Dundee United, and I think it might be Louis Moult, but I'll confirm that scorer. It is indeed Queen's Park 0, Dundee United 2.
Kenny, look.
And actually, Kenny,
yep.
The news from Wraith Rovers has filtered through to these United fans as well. Could be a good day for them.
Yeah, just briefly, Michael. So Wraith Rovers won A, United won. Logan Chalmers with equaliser for United on 55 minutes. Chick bang on. Louis Moult with that second goal. Could be a big goal. That Queen's Park 0, Dundee United 2.
Yeah, very, very big. I mean, look, just to reiterate what Jim's saying there as well. Look, I'm not slow to point fingers at managers that I don't think are up to scratch and doing a job, and whether they've had 9 months, 2 years, 3 years in the job or whatever. But there has to be an element of recognition of what's actually going on here. Coming in September, yes, he's had a lot of the season. He's had one window, and there's been progress made as far as I'm concerned. And if you throw that out the window in the summer, then it just falls into the same category as what Aberdeen have been doing over the last wee while. I actually think Nick Montgomery, personally, has shown enough that I would be giving him more time.
I think Hibs are still good at the things they've always been good at, which is scoring goals, and they're still poor at the things they've been always poor at, not conceding as many goals. So I think, I'm not saying Nick Montgomery should get the sack, far from it, but I think he needs to show more. I think it's a debate. He needs to show more with the players that he has. He needs to show that he can organise a defence better than he's organising it.
Right, let's get
Aberdeen putting on a lot of pressure early in the second half. They've had 3 great opportunities. Jamie McGrath with a free kick. George had to get down to his right hand side, palm it round the post, and then Angus MacDonald should have done better from the resulting corner, and then Jamie McGrath just right after that corner, he's down the right hand side. He tries to cross it towards the back post. It drifts in the wind. George is struggling badly. It comes off the inside of the far post and somehow squirms back out into the field of play. So Aberdeen a little bit unlucky there. 3 good opportunities, but none of them finding the back of the net.
Thanks, Will. Let's continue around the grounds. Let's get to Dens Park, Dundee at home to Motherwell. What's happening there, Derek?
Certainly a lot better from Motherwell in the second half, Kenny. I think it's as well with the wind, their wind assisted as well, so I think that's helping a little bit. Going a little bit more direct, getting better balls into Bear up top, and with Spittle just moving in and around them. They've created 1 or 2. Bear was just offside, but putting it wide, and then that little lovely play between Bear and Spittle. Spittle just firing it over, but certainly whatever Stuart said to them at half time, they've got their act together, playing a little bit better and trying to get back in level terms.
And on the Hibs thing, we have to keep going back to the fact that it's 1-1. They should have had a penalty, right? We have to caveat this whole conversation by VAR has not been kind to Hibs this season. I know every fan of every team will say that, but Hibs I think have been hard done by.
Another goal for United. They're running right now. 58 minutes on the clock. It's a corner on the left hand side. I think it might be Moult again. There's a bunch of players went into the near post, headed into the back of the net. Callum Perry all over the place, and United romping to all 3 points. And as we stand, Kenny, they are 6 points clear at the top of the championship table.
Yeah, kicking on that big result last weekend against Rovers at Tannadice. Let's get to Billy Dodds at Rugby Park, Kilmarnock against Ross County. What's happening there, Billy?
Just a chance apiece in this second half. Kelly start to get the ball down a little bit. I need to, because the ball, it'll be put in a fridge tonight with the way it's been just humped up the park time and time again from both teams, and I can understand that don't want to take chances, but Armstrong just with the strike that was flicked over, and Murray with the colour was brilliantly saved by Dennis. That's been about it in the second half. Still 0-0.
Thank you to
Ross Graham, Kenny.
Ross Graham, thanks.
Ross Graham with the goal.
So 3-0 there to Dundee United away to Queen's Park. Let's get back then to Easter Road. I want to speak in a minute or two about St Johnstone, the concerns for them, Alan. Was there a wee bit of quality a minute ago?
That was brilliant. It's a really good corner from Hibs that ended up finding its way to Newell. Cadden, who was back the park marking Sidibe, makes a late run to the edge of the box. It's a really good set play off the training field, and his shot goes over the top of the bar. But you can just feel Hibs are starting to really pile on the pressure here. and the fans are playing their part as well. They're getting right behind them. They realise the result at Dens is not great for Hibs, and they need to try and win this game. Still 1-1. We are 63 minutes on the clock.
Anything at all, Rory, from the home side in Paisley?
Yeah, there was a shout for a penalty. Bacchus went to cross one in. I couldn't quite see which defender it was, but it was claims from the home support that it hit an arm. A couple of substitutions at half time. Bomono went off, as did Kwon. McMenamin and Bacchus came on, and Stephen Naismith just brought Denham on for Macaulay Tate as well. George Grant did have a chance at the start of the second half. Actually, it was a really good ball by Macaulay Tate. He switched the play, and Gogic hesitated, which allowed the ball to ricochet off him. It fell to Cammy Devlin. He just delayed ever so slightly.
Alan.
Obita, wonderful cross. Lafondra makes a front post run. He flicks it with the outside of the right foot. What a save by Mitov.
Just watching that again now, Michael.
Oh, what a save that is from Zander Clark. I do not know how that shot's ended up being on target. I don't know if it comes off the defender, but it's Olasanya who takes a touch across the defender. It almost comes off both of them at the same time, and Zander Clark's down to make the save.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good save for Zander Clark, but I think it comes off the defender. I don't think the striker does anything. I think it flicks off the defender, and had that ended up the back of it, it's probably one of those where you're saying you should have done better, because it's not quick enough to be past him before he can react.
Kenny, just to hit Raith Rovers here, the referee Ross Hardy gave Dylan Easton a ticking off for entertainment. That's all I can say. There was a free kick given against Raith Rovers. It was about just over the halfway line, and Dylan Easton, as the ball had landed to him, the whistle had went, but he's absolutely pinged it from the halfway line straight into the net. And the referee gave him a ticking off for kicking the ball away.
It's Coman that's taking the lead. They've been pressurising. They had a few efforts that were blocked a few minutes ago, and then the ball fell to Vassili's 25 yards out. Maybe the goalkeeper should do better. Maybe the boys will tell me they should have. But he hits a strike left-footed from about 22 yards. It's low. It's got a bit of power on it, but it goes straight through the goalkeeper, and Coman are ahead 1-0.
Absolutely, Dodgy. We've only seen the one run of it, and my instant thought was that the keeper's got to do better. As the ball drops to Vassell, he's got loads of space in the edge of the box. The ball's under him a bit. Keeper, he gets over. He just goes under him. He's got to be. I know there's a lot of bodies in front of him, but for me, still, he has to save that.
That was my first instinct.
Yeah.
There's a first for you boys. Queen's Park made a substitution. Zach Mochan was coming on for Lee McLeish. He came on the park. The referee stopped the game, sent him off again to go up to the dressing room and get his shin guards in. I have never seen that. It's kept the game stopped until he re-emerged and came on.
You can't force a player to wear shin guards.
Can you not?
I thought you could. I think you can.
You can now.
Well, now is it a change of rule?
They've got to have some kind of protection on you.
Yeah. Okay. Stop using ropes as crossbars as well.
Which is quite, ridiculous, because nowadays some of these shin pads are like it's a bit of toothless.
That's like 2 or 3 inches there, some of them.
A lot of opportunity, Kenny, for Motherwell.
Yeah, Derek.
Yeah, good play again, in and around the Dundee box, and just falls to Vale. Inside the box again.
It's a penalty here, Raith Rovers.
Yeah. Yes, Jim.
There's a penalty. I'm not sure if it's Nick McAllister's, because if it is, he could well get booked again. As I mentioned, he get booked in 3 minutes, but he's made a challenge. I think on Sam Stanton. It looked very soft to me, it was Stanton exaggerated it, but nevertheless the referee's in a good position, so it's a penalty here for Raith Rovers.
Rory.
Mikey, I'm going to need a little bit of help here, because the ball comes into a ruck of bodies. It's actually a really good corner in this wind. I think he'd just been told at half-time, put it right on top of the goalkeeper, and I think it just ricochets off Hemming, comes back out, hits somebody, and ends up in the net. Hemming's got his head in his hands, though, which suggests to me that he feels he should have done better.
Does it help just with this goal?
Come on, that was a good line. That was a good line.
I've not seen it yet.
What was that? I missed that.
He said, did it just help with the goal that you need, Rory?
I've not seen it yet, Rory. I've not seen it yet.
Hold, here we go now, Michael.
I tell you, the wind.
Pinball.
It's pinball, aye.
Right, goal somewhere else.
Goal at Raith Rovers, a penalty. Jack Hamilton just smashed it right down the middle, and giving the goalkeeper no chance. So 2-1 now. Raith Rovers back on track again to challenge Dundee United.
Yeah, big one that.
Kenny, there's a goal, but this is the most bizarre thing. There's a ball, a challenge, chase back. Everybody thinks it's offside. The referee doesn't seem to signal for a goal. He has now signalled for a goal. Remember, no VAR in the Championship. It's 4-0 to Dundee United, and it's Fotheringham who's got the goal, but a weird, bizarre goal. 4-0 for United, and they're cruising, as I said, to these points. That was weird.
And Dundee nearly getting their second, Kenny. Look, McCowan just outside the box, just trying to find that bottom left-hand corner, and it's just inches past. So it's been all Motherwell so far, but Dundee starting to get themselves back into this game.
Right. Let's go through all the scores. We've not done that for a while. Dundee 1, Motherwell 0, Hibs 1, St Johnstone 1, Kilmarnock 1, Ross County 0, Livingston 0, Aberdeen 0, St Mirren 0, Hearts 2. In the Championship today, Airdrie 2, Morton 0, Dunfermline 0, Partick Thistle 1, Inverness Cali Thistle 1, Arbroath 0. Dundee United are 4-0 up now, as Chick was telling us, away at Queen's Park. Wraith Rovers back in front, 2-1 at home to Ayr United. In League One, Annan Athletic 0, Hamilton Accies 2. Edinburgh City against Montrose, that match was abandoned when the score was 0-0. Queen of the South 1, Kelty Hearts 2. Stirling Albion 1, Alloa 3. 5:30 kick-off, Falkirk at home to Cove Rangers. In League 2, Bonnyrigg Rose 1, Peterhead 1, Clyde 0, Stranraer 0, Elgin City 2, Spartans 2, Forfar 0, Dumbarton 1, Stennismuir 0, East Fife 0. And in England, full-time, the lunchtime kick-off, Crystal Palace 2, Man City 4, Aston Villa 2, Brentford 3. Villa were 2-0 up in that game. Everton 1, Burnley 0, Burnley down to 10 men. Fulham 0, Newcastle United 0, Luton 0, Bournemouth 1, Wolves 1, West Ham United 0. 3 goals in 9 minutes for Brentford in that game. 5:30 start, Brighton home to Arsenal. Kassim.
Yeah, corner from the left-hand side. Beautifully taken by Hancock. Quite low. It was quite a low header, and he's put it into the keeper's bottom left corner to make it 3-0 to Airdrie against Greenock Morton here.
Yeah, absolutely terrific stuff there from Rhys McCabe's side.
Mikey,
just looking at the table.
Did you get a look at the goal? Did you get a look at the goal for Hearts, the second goal, Michael?
It's gone down as a Mandron own goal.
There's a chance, Martin
Right, okay.
Boyles clean through, one-on-one with the keeper. Smeetoff saves it. I think he's offside. There, and the flag goes up. Why did he do that?
Point of order on the shin guards, by the way. It doesn't explicitly say that you have to wear shin guards in the rules of soccer.
Kenny.
Yep.
When's the League Cup sections drawn? Asking for a friend.
It's been a while since he's had a wee dig, Willie, is it not?
All right, okay.
That was for you, Willie. That was for you. I think so.
Preston, okay. I'll put you down in the black book now.
What a second,
Right.
Dundee.
Yes.
It's straight from a corner kick. It's Luke McCowan, right hand side, but his left footed just whaps it away to the back post area. I don't know. Kelly certainly misses it. Thought there was maybe one of the well players on the line that could have got it, but 2-0 by the way, and they've struggled a little bit in this second half, Dundee, but looks as if they're going to take all 3 points.
Well, very much like what happened at St Mirren with the Hearts corner, left-footed, whipped it in. The winds played a huge part in just making it very difficult for the defenders, and it's in at the back post, straight in. It's a good corner. But you've got to think.
Because he's probably tried it.
But the goalkeeper as well, as much as we've talked about the wind.
It's not wind, the wind's not with it. Now, if you're taking an in-swinger, the wind will take it right in. The wind's actually, well, it's against them, so I think they should deal with it a little bit better.
The keeper's got, there's no doubt, Liam Kelly's got to do better.
Yeah, he's well under it.
Yeah.
Well, I've only obviously got one look at it, but that's what it looked like to me. Michael just caught under it, should have done better.
Touch, good save. Marcondes, lovely ball into the box, takes it on his chest, wonderful control. Half volley right at Meathoff.
Stirling Albion 1, Alloa 4. Curtis Roberts with the latest goal there on 70 minutes. Just looking actually at the playoff spots in the Championship, looking at the table there. So Dundee United 65 points as things stand. Wraith Rovers 61 points with that game in hand. Partick Thistle really comfortable now in third, 7 points clear of Airdrie, though Airdrie do have a game in hand, but significantly Dunfermline now 4 points behind Airdrie. Airdrie with a game in hand also over Dunfermline, and Morton are slipping out of things as it looks at the moment. This could be a big win this afternoon for Inverness Cali Thistle if they can hang on against Arbroath. They're still in the playoff spot, 9th in the table, but they've moved within a point of Queen's Park and 3 points of Ayr United. One thing we didn't get was some of the Player of the Year nominations. Willie, for yourself.
Sanya's running through here. Has he got the pace to get away from Limbasika? We'll see. He's still going. Oh, great finish. Really good composure from Olasanya. He takes the ball from the half.
What a save that is.
From Limbasika.
It's a goal for Dundee United.
Finishes into the back corner.
Oh my goodness, hold on. There are a few problems with Rory's line there. It's a bit quiet and there's a delay, but St Mirren back in it at home to Hearts. Where else was the goal there?
Yeah, Dundee United have scored again, Kenny. It's a corner, comes in, gets knocked out, falls for Craig Sibbald, and he really lashes it into the net from just inside the box. Low shot, 70 minutes played. It is now Queen's Park 0, Dundee United 5.
Wow, what
a brilliant effort by Hibs again. Malida, what a save by Mitov. There's a shout for a penalty kick. I think we're still waiting on the check being complete. The referee, it's no penalty. It's a good effort, good save by Mitov. Hibs piling on the pressure.
Right, Arbroath have equalised away Inverness, Cali Thistle. I think it's fair to say there's a lot of pressure on Duncan Ferguson. A lot of Inverness fans have been getting in touch with us, not at all happy. One of the supporters groups had a meeting this morning. So Cali Thistle won, Arbroath won. McIntosh with that goal there on 61 minutes. And as Chick was telling us, Queen's Park 0, Dundee United 5, Craig Sibbald on 70 minutes. So Rory, just talk us through that goal again. We lost you for a bit there.
Now get yourself up.
Yeah, it was a wonderful,
get yourself up, Sadibe. Throwing himself to the ground here. It's really poor play by him. He's wanting a free kick.
We'll have a look at that, Rory.
Yeah, it was a wonderful goal, Kenny. Really good. It came from a Hearts corner, actually, and Olasanya broke away. It was Limbasika who slipped on the halfway line, and he ran the full length of the half under a great deal of pressure, I would have to say as well, and he slotted home with his left foot past Xander Clark to make it 2-1. Really, really good goal and composure.
Another goal for you, Kasim.
Yep, Green and Morton have had a good break down the right hand side, cut back, and the substitute Garrity has tucked it away at the back post, although it hit the post, came back off him again and then just sneaked in. So Airdrie 3, Green and Morton 1 now.
Right, Willie, I'm going to run out of time. I want to get you Player of the Year and someone worthy of a special mention.
Well, it hurts, but it is Lauren Shanklin. I think he will win the Player of the Year, and James Tavernier for me.
Right there?
Yeah, no, I think you were right, Alan. Yeah. He's had a wonderful season. He's had a wonderful, better than Duke, absolutely. Yeah. Do you want me to grovel any more? Is that enough?
Well, I've got to return the compliment because I'm going to go Miovski as my surprise, because I wonder where Aberdeen would have been if it was never his goals.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Right, so Lauren Shanklin for your Player of the Year and someone worthy of a special mention, Willie.
Well, Tavernier has been brilliant, but he's brilliant every season. He scores goals every season, and you just get a wee bit kind of fed up constantly putting them forward. Matt O'Reilly, perhaps, I think.
I mean, someone that's not going to win it, because these guys seem to be in the conversation for winning it. Okay, so someone that's not realistically going to win it.
Danny Armstrong, then I would agree with that one. Anytime I've watched him play for Kilmarnock, he's been outstanding. So, Danny Armstrong.
Right. So, Alan, give me your two.
Shanklin and Miovski.
I mean, that's incredible, Miovski, isn't it, that he'd be considered in there?
Early on, about 6-7 weeks ago, you would have thought that Miovski would have been in the running for it. He certainly would have.
He was Warnocked.
That was you. You're growing a chip. Can you grow a chip? You can't grow a chip, can you?
I just borrowed one of yours, Willie.
Oh, brilliant.
And who hasn't done this? Rory, who would you go for?
Shanklin for me, absolutely, and I would agree with Jim. Luke McCowan would have been mine. Frankie Kent I would throw into the mix as well, but if I had to pick, then I would say Luke McCowan for the one that's not going to win it, but he's had a very good season.
Yeah, he's a good player, isn't he, Michael? You like him, Luke McCowan?
Absolutely, I've been saying it for the last couple of seasons whenever I've seen Luke McCowan, and he's not always been a guaranteed starter for Dundee as well, but yep, I think he's a very, very good player. One that I would imagine that there would be a few clubs that have been looking at.
They're good in there, Dundee, aren't they? You've got Cameron, you've got McCowan, Tiffany's come off.
See, going back to Danny Armstrong as well, Kenny, I mean, remember, he couldn't get a game in the Championship. It was Fraser Murray that played all the time. Then he come into the Premiership, and
was that under Tommy Wright?
Yeah, he didn't play as regular in the Championship. I think even under Derek at times.
Check Kenny, get on. I'm not too sure what it was for. It was Casey had a strike at goal. I thought it was a good save from McCracken, but the referee and the linesman gave a by kick. So
we'll get the replay now. Here we are now.
again,
it comes off of
the usual. I'm in the dark.
Yeah.
I don't know what's.
It comes off of Shaughnessy's arm, but for me, it's not a penalty. He's stretching his arms out, but there's a good chance it'll be given.
Oh yeah, I see it. I've just saw a little replay, courtesy of
Got to be!
Gavin.
Save
Could be given
from Meathoff. What a ball in! Brilliant play by Hibs on the right hand side.
Thanks,
right. He's given
Malida with a flick at the near post. Does it just hit Meathoff? Is he just in the way?
He's having an awfully good game.
Brilliant save.
That penalty kick at Dens Park just sums it up for me.
Why?
Sums it up. Because, I mean, Shaughnessy is stretching with his leg to try and block. Like, his arm is... Where else is it meant to be?
I've asked you this before.
That's different to the one earlier on. This is very harsh decision, I think.
Do you think, Michael, the interpretation from our match officials is different to what you see when you're watching games elsewhere in terms of the handball law?
I don't really watch a great deal elsewhere. all I'm doing is watching the games here, and
Kenny,
it's utter nonsense.
As you know, I watch a lot of the Italian games, and I've seen them given. You know, if it strikes the arm, they tend to go over at the monitor, look at it, and just give it.
And it's nonsense.
Yeah,
it's absolute nonsense.
Michael, we know this. We've been speaking about it for a number of years.
Penalty first, yeah.
Penalty fair, a couple of steps back, hands in the hips, coming up pretty casual, and it's a save. It looked a little bit casual to me, but they've got it again. Brilliant play. Doesn't give up the ghost. Gets in, gets the rebound, and puts into the back of the net. I just had the feeling we'd be there. Oh, hold on a minute.
Please don't tell me it's encroachment. That takes me back to last week. Michael. Oh no.
Yeah, I think it's encroachment.
Right, over to you, Michael.
Right.
the heads down there.
I'll tell you what, can I say, Kenny? I thought Beer looked a little bit casual, and you just get that feeling. But it was brilliant from Gent because the rebound follows up. Great finish. What's going on now?
By the way, I've got to say, if this is given as encroachment, it's either blatant.
No, it's a goal. I don't know.
It's not encroachment. There's no Motherwell player in that box.
No.
That's got to be a goal.
It's a goal.
Encroachment by a Dundee player, but that doesn't count.
And barely, it falls into the category again of...
It doesn't matter anyway.
Guys, imagine how the fans feel. You've got VAR, you've got umpteen views of it, and you don't know what's happening.
Bang on, Jim. Bang on.
Imagine how the fans feel. They paid to watch this.
Feel how the players feel. They didn't have a clue what's going on here. They're putting the ball down for a free kick. I mean, it's an absolute nonsense. First of all, it shouldn't have been a penalty. That is a total joke. They do not have a clue what they're doing with the handball. Not a Scooby.
Oh, what a big goal that is for St Johnstone! Just trying to see who it is. It's a corner that comes in. You maybe help me out here, Michael. They're all jumping on someone, but it's a simple corner played in, and he just knocks it in with his right foot from about 6 yards out.
Kenny, it's done because the Tannoy announcer, he's just like me, he's went, it is a goal.
Is it Tony Gallagher?
I don't know what's happened.
Tony Gallagher.
I couldn't honestly tell you. I still couldn't tell you.
Yeah, Gallagher it is with the goal.
Yeah, fantastic there for Craig Levine.
Here we go, Bear, through 1v1, chops back, chops back again, and he finishes. Oh, big fella, what a goal.
Well, was it you, Tom? Was it you that went to your Bear?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
What a goal. From 2-0 up, absolutely cruising. I tell you what, that's a wonderful goal. He had a wrestle with the centre back, out muscles him. You think the defender then gets back, he chops back again, then passes the ball into an empty net. Brian Waite, that was brilliant centre forward play. Brilliant.
That is horrific. A simple corner into the box, and it's like the whole Hibs defence is just static.
It's a little
on their heels.
I thought we were talking about Theo Bear there.
No, that's tremendous. That's absolutely tremendous.
Brilliant there. Brilliant.
Yeah.
But does that just not encapsulate Hibs' defensive season?
It does.
Take it away, Alan. Hit him hard. On you go.
No, I'm just saying
on
it encapsulates the way they've defended there. That's just Hibs. And that's been happening before Montgomery came in. Johnson was here. Defensively, they've been poor for years. And they don't address it. It's all right bringing in midfield players and talented strikers, that's fine. Got to close the back door.
Right, there was a goal come in the Championship. Dunfermline have equalised at home to Partick Thistle. Chris Kane from the penalty spot on 79 minutes. So confirmation that equaliser from Motherwell, Theo Bair on 81 minutes. What a fantastic signing he has been. Bonner Grows 2-1 up at home to Peterhead. Lee Curry with a goal there on 83 minutes. And just confirmation, Alan telling us Hibs 1, St Johnstone 2. Tony Gallagher on 81 minutes.
Big chance here, Kenny. Big chance. Cammy Devlin. Oh, he delays and delays. Oh, is it going to go in? Oh, it's a Stramash. It's still away. Oh, it's been cleared. Really good anticipation from Devlin. He steals the ball. He runs forward. He just takes far too long to make a decision. He ends up shooting and hemming saves, and it's eventually cleared.
I don't even know. I don't even know what he decides to do in the end there, Rory. I think he might actually even be trying to cut it back at the last second. I think he might, because in fact, I think he just passes it to the goalkeeper.
Should have been 3-2, guys.
I wasn't quite sure, but I think the keeper saves it with his leg. I think there's a delay on this line, by the way.
There is, unfortunately, Rory. There is. Yeah.
I feel like I'm cutting across people at times, not meaning to. But it was a huge chance. It should be 3-1, Michael.
Right, Derek, big chance in your game.
Yeah, it was. It was Bair. Just again a ball into the box. It's cut back to him. He's in and around that 6-yard box again. But again, just leaning back slightly and just skies it over the bar. So, I tell you what, they're on fire at the moment, Motherwell. They've got they're really at it now. I thought they were so poor in the first half, unlike them. But I thought 2-0 here at Dens Park. Oh, he's through again. Can you? Oh, he's waiting to chop. Oh, I thought he's got to take a strike. There's another strike. Oh, brilliant. I tell you what, they should be in the lead. It should be 3-4. Where has this come from? That was Halliday that time. Oh, I tell you what, brilliant.
Well, Tom did say the second half should be a wee bit lively. He's certainly right there, Tom.
He's trying to keep up with all the goals going.
My goodness, that was a really busy spell. We'll recap the goals for you, latest scores in a couple of minutes. Alan, just talk to us about the atmosphere now at Easter Road.
Oh, it's flat. It is totally flat. Hibs are still not out this. Honestly, they've got a chance again. Mitchell's been excellent, but I've got to say, Adama Sidibe for St Johnstone has been exceptional. Very quick, playing up on his own. It's caused all sorts of concern for Fish and Bashiri. And now it's Travantis that's gone back there, and Bashiri, real pace on him, power, scored the goal, led the line really well. Hibs fans are not happy at all. You can imagine, 2-1 down, we've got 5 minutes on the clock plus whatever's added on.
What a ball in from Ganda, no takers. County have hardly been up the pitch this second half, but still in the game. Kilmarnock have missed a couple of chances, but Danda, who's on as a sub, whipped an outswinger right across the face of the 6-yard box, and nobody gathered for County.
4-0 Dumbarton to Pignatello on 83. Yes, Al?
Oh, it's a chance for Bashiri. He just completely misses the ball and it drops to him from a corner.
Kicking off with Polworth and Danda here.
Yeah, Billy.
Just shoving matches all over the place. Leaks in. Few get involved. Murray's over now. Just about the 10 in there. I tell you what, Bassell and Murray are at it with one another. Two strong lads as well, but it's calming down. I wonder what the referee will do. Linesman's on the pitch as well.
Yeah, a lot of players involved there, aren't they? Still going at it. Fulham 0, Newcastle 1. Gumarães with a goal on 81 minutes. Wolves 1, West Ham United 2. James Ward-Prowse with that goal on 84 minutes. So let's recap the scores for you across Scotland, because that was a really hectic period of play there. So Dundee 2, Motherwell 2, Hibs 1, St Johnstone 2, Kilmarnock 1, Ross County 0, Livingston 0, Aberdeen 0, St Mirren 1, Hearts 2. Alan?
Sidibe's got no right to win the ball. He's trying to get his team up the park, and he just positions himself right between the two centre-halves. Backs into them, wins the ball, lays it off, and his team are up the park.
So as things stand, St Mirren would be guaranteed their place in the top 6. That's because Hibs are behind. So it'll be St Mirren 43, Dundee 40, Hibs 38. Dundee with a game in hand over Saints and Hibs. Ross County, as things stand, 4 points adrift in the playoff spot at the bottom of the table. Tom, it looks like things had improved under Don Cowie coming in after the Derek Adams experiment, but my goodness, when they come off that park today, if things stay the way they are and they've lost that game, and they hear that St Johnstone have won,
that would
they're in trouble.
That would be a calamitous situation for them. What did you say, 4 points at the
So they're 27, St John's 31, and Aberdeen and Motherwell both on 34.
Yeah, that's grim.
Kenny, just the
That's
5
grim.
yellows there given out.
Honestly,
5 yellows
that
in
one,
the
Five
Five
yellow
yellows.
cards. 5 yellow cards. The 3 of them with Vassell, Murray, and Leak, and then it was obviously Danda and Polworth that started it.
Why stop at 5?
I just keep kind of booked energy. The linesman got involved as well, so he had 3, and he booked the first 2, had a wee thing, got the
We're all having
linesman
a laugh
over.
about it now.
Oh,
look. We're all-
big
Penalty call, Michael and Paisley. Have a little look. It's for St Mirren. It looked, from my view, as a penalty, but Alan Muir said no.
No.
Not a chance.
Certainly
No.
just the first viewing there. I think it was, I'm not sure who was it McMenamin in front of
Yeah,
Denham?
he's been really good since he came on, McMenamin. Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
He cuts in front of Denham. I don't think there was a great deal of contact. We've got a better
No contact.
view here. No, it's never a penalty. Never. No.
What do you think, Tom?
Weird moment.
On you go, check.
Weird moment here, weird moment here. Jack Walton with a goal kick lumps it up the park, one bounce, and it looks as if it's gone into the net at the other end, and it just over the top of the bat and landed after one bounce on the top of Callum Ferry's net.
They're checking
That's
it.
the kind of afternoon it is.
Wait a minute. So they're checking this incident in Paisley.
Yes, they're currently checking it. It's just been announced. It's still up on the screen that they're checking it.
Right. Wait, so first of all, Michael, talk us through what's happening. Tom, jump in, but just explain to the listeners, Michael, what the incident involves.
Well, it's the officials are losing their mind again. That's what's happening. I mean, look, it's just a 1-2.
He's going to the screen.
He's walking to the screen. You're kidding.
He's running, but to the screen now, yeah, Michael.
No way. Come on. Unless we have not seen an angle that is from outer space.
Unless it's a trip or something that we haven't seen. But
McMenamin's cutting in from the edge of the box. He plays a 1-2, gets in front of Denham. But to me, there is no contact.
Michael, here we are now.
There's no contact in that.
Could they have clipped him in his heel?
Honestly, I don't know why they're showing that angle, because
here we are now. Here's a better one.
You can't see anything.
Right, here we are.
No!
Does he not catch?
No, McMenamin's already going down. There's a bit of right there. That's not a penalty for me. I mean, really, personally, not a penalty.
Alan Muir's having a good look, but he's struggling to see because the sun. He's having to put his hands across the screen.
I don't see that as a penalty in any shape or form.
Do you know, this really gets into the realms of like what, you know, and we'll probably talk about this later on. See, if you want to scrutinise anything enough, you'll find something.
Is that not an important thing, Michael? That in the end, the correct decision is reached.
But like,
at what cost?
Exactly. And this, I don't think
he's stuck with his original decision. No penalty.
Oh, thank goodness. Look, there's contact. But I keep going back to this, Kenny, with you. Contact happens in football. It happens. To try and eliminate contact, it's just it's a complete fantasy, and nobody wants it.
Oh yes.
The fact that he was brought over to the screen there is a bit of a joke, isn't it? For that incident? I mean, it's not. It's not the first time this season, but there was no way that should have gone onto the screen. No way.
Well, it's got a bit quiet through at Livingston. What's happening?
Oh, Kenny.
Well, the good thing is you'll not be locked in the car park for ages like they were the last time. Remember, you were phoning me, you were, I can't get out of this car park.
I know.
Do you know sometimes, William, when you see your name on the list, you must have known you weren't in for a great afternoon today.
I did.
Wait a minute. I've just been told, you asked for this game today.
Oh, I did, yes, indeed I did. So it's my own fault, yes. I take full responsibility for it.
You've given in a lot today, Willie. You've changed.
I know I've mellowed over the years, Dodgy. I remember the day where I would never give in.
Is the game rubbish, Willie? Or?
It's deteriorated in the second half. Aberdeen had that little spell beginning of the second half. 3 good opportunities, but since then, you know, what was it, huffing and puffing? There was definitely a lot of that. I mean, there's plenty of effort, Kenny, and you know, they're trying to play football, but the quality's not there. The chances haven't been created, and it looks as though it's just going to, peter out to a 0-0 draw, but still living hope.
Kenny, I've got to give Alan Muir a bit of credit there. No, the referee. We're just going over to the screen and not just folding. You know?
It's unusual. It's quite quiet. Is it Derek's trying to speak there?
I didn't know you could ask for a game. Can I get tomorrow's game?
Derek, that's been the system for 20 years, Derek. I can't believe you haven't copped onto this.
Do you think you'll be a happy man tomorrow night, Derek?
It's going to be so tight, innit? I just think Rangers just might edge it. There's a little chance here for Miller. He's just come on as sub. Great strike, but again, Dundee defended for their lives at the moment. They'll do well at the moment to get a wee bit of draw here this afternoon, Kenny, because it's been all Motherwell since they got the equaliser. A little bit controversial, as we know, but they've won. Tell you what, it's a corner whipped in, it's a strike again. I think it might have been Halliday, but again, they're getting their bodies in the way to stop it, get into the back of the net, but it's been all Motherwell this last 10 minutes.
Let me give you some big goals in the Championship. Inverness, Cally Thistle 2, Arbroath 1, Alex Samuel on 88 minutes. In League, where are we? Bonnell Groves 2, Peterhead 2. Where did I see it? League 2, big goal for Clyde. Jordan Allen in the 92nd minute, Ian McCall's side. Clyde 1, Stranraer 0. We've got a first full time of the day in Elgin City 2, Spartans 2. So let's get back to you, Billy. What's happened down there? Anything at all from County in the second half?
No, a couple of corners for Dander really whipped in, and it was great areas, and they just need somebody to throw themselves at it. But I mean, it was one that had a little stramash in the box, but no County players near it. They're not putting their body in the line, especially with the predicament they're in as well. But not showing enough in terms of goal efforts, County, and Kilmarnock look as if they're going to run out and hold on to 1-0.
It's a sub. Oh, it's incredible. What a ball. Brilliant play with Lennon Miller. Breaks up the play, slides it down the right hand side. The ball's whipped in, and it's the sub that's come on. How do you pronounce his name? Is it Ibaye? You can tell me, guys. I don't listen. Doesn't matter. Motherwell took the lead, 3-2. What a comeback!
Brilliant.
Yeah, a little bit fortunate with the VAR, but they've been unbelievable the last 10-15 minutes of the game, and well deserved.
And we can see the big celebrations in the stand there. It's been a tough decision for all these fans to make today, Tom. 1 o'clock pitch inspections, and the second inspection that took place, game was given the go ahead. But my goodness, what a comeback!
It's a brilliant comeback. There's some team, Motherwell. They're never beaten. They've got goals on their side. That's a lovely finish as well.
Tell you what, Tom,
it's a beautiful finish.
I tell you what, the manager. Let's give the manager real credit, because
full time at Easter Road to Burnley, and you can hear the boos. Burnley once and Johnson too.
Thanks,
Tom speaking before the game, he speaks so much sense. You can tell he's a clever guy, but he's got a steely determination about him. But I tell you what, whatever he said at half time, by God, it's worked wonders, and he deserves that if they come away with a win, because they'll still get a few minutes to play here.
If they see it out, this is going to mean so much to Stuart Kettlewell, because I think there was a lot of bitterness pre-match about Dundee's pitch and not investing in their pitch. Motherwell invested in their pitch, money out of his budget to invest in the pitch. I think this is good. His comments after this match are going to be very, very interesting if they win this. What a comeback.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Listen, the first 45 minutes, it was pretty poor. It's like a few of the games were, but what a second half we've had. It's been unbelievable. And dare I say it, the pitch has played its part, because I think at times they might have overplayed in certain areas, but instead of that, they've got the ball into the danger area, into the box, and it's created chances, and we've got goals.
Has it held up okay there, Derek? So we know there's a game due to be played there on Wednesday.
Majowski!
Yes, Willie.
The League Cup is not a certainty yet, I don't think, is it?
There we go, doing the Ronaldo celebration.
It was a good diagonal ball towards the back post. The goalkeeper made a very good save, but Majowski with a scissors kick drills it into the back of the net from close range to give Aberdeen an unlikely 1-0 lead. Livingston are gutted. You can imagine how they're feeling. Good show they put up today, but Aberdeen and Majowski, put them to the sword in the dying embers of this game. It looks like a 1-0 victory.
Rugby Park, Kilmarnock have held on. Kilmarnock 1, Ross County 0.
Thanks, Billy.
Kenny,
yes.
Time here to read Rovers, Kenny.
Thanks, Jim.
I know you're talking about players of the year, but manager of the year. If Ian McCall keeps Clyde in that league.
Airdrie 3, Greenock Morton 1.
Thanks. Listen, I know he fancied it. I know he felt he could reel the teams in. Chick, I spoke to him about it. I met him for a coffee a few weeks ago, and he was confident he could do the business. And actually, we'll do the managers of the year a bit further down the line when some things potentially have been decided.
Kenny.
Yeah.
That must that goal for Aberdeen must make things interesting for the top six now. I think St Mirren still guaranteed with Hibs losing. I mean, how does that sit now?
Just going to look at the table right now. Just want to ask one quick question. Is it ridiculous?
Yes.
Yes, it usually is when I say that. That's that. But is it? You couldn't see if they don't get the number one target, Aberdeen. You couldn't. Could you give it to Peter Leaving? Is that madness?
Well, look, I mean, I said it.
No,
before. I don't think they, because they did that with Barry Robson. They'd be very reluctant to do it again. But
I said it before. Hey, wait a minute, they're checking something.
Offside. I did think this from the free kick. Is it McDonald that's round the back? I think.
Yeah.
It might have been offside. Might have been marginally
acrobatic, lovely finish, acrobatic finish.
Just when Clarkson takes the free kick, I did wonder whether McDonald was marginally. I think there was a few hairs that were offside.
Okay.
Do you know what?
We wait.
Just looking at the table there, Motherwell are still in with a chance.
Yes.
Of top six.
Yeah, I thought that.
Kenny.
Yep.
It's all over. Dundee 2, Motherwell 3. Stuart Kettlewell, take a bow.
And half an hour ago, I was looking at that table. I was thinking, Motherwell aren't out of danger at the bottom.
I think it's so tight down there. So Dundee, they've got the spot at the moment, 6th spot, 39 points. They've got that one game to play in hand. That is at home midweek, pitch permitting, at home to Rangers. So Dundee 39 points, goal difference
I think
minus
he's off,
10.
by the way. I think McDonald is off.
He keeps walking back towards. Offside.
Cancel that.
Yeah.
Goal has been chalked off.
Unlucky, Willie. You thought you had a little moment to keep you going there for a second.
The producers just said to me that's Peter Leaving out of the running then.
I think that's Aberdeen's name in the hat for the League Cup.
Right, so Motherwell's still got a chance, Tom. Look at that table. They're 3 points behind Dundee with a better goal difference. So it's going to go right down. I mean, next Saturday.
They're at home to Hibs next week. Motherwell.
Oh my God, what a game that's going to be.
Well, if Motherwell deny Hibs the top six, or if Motherwell deny Dundee the top six place, is that what you're talking about?
Yes, if Motherwell
that would be sweet for Motherwell.
Motherwell, Hibs and Dundee are all battling for the top six. Yeah. It's Motherwell versus Hibs at Fir Park.
Wow. That's going to be tasty. I mean, of course, Dundee could put it out of everyone's hands if they get the win against Rangers on Wednesday. And they're away to Aberdeen in their final game ahead of the split, so that's going to be really tasty next weekend. As I say, Dundee could do the business against Rangers on Wednesday evening. So just see, are there any late goals coming in that affect things in Scotland? Some of the games, of course, overrunning. No, we're up to date with all. Wolves have got a late equaliser down in England. Wolves 2, West Ham United 2. That goal coming in the 99th minute. Full time, Forfar 0, Dumbarton 2. Also full time coming through as well. There are a few coming in from Scottish games. That was a victory for Clyde. Queen of the South 1, Kelty Hearts 2. Yes, Chick.
Huge win for Dundee United. 5-0 against Queen's Park at Hampden. And they missed a penalty as well. Remember, Louis Moult, Fotheringham ahead in the first half. Then Moult, Ross Graham, Fotheringham with his second. And then the 5th goal coming from Craig Sibbald. Convincing win for Dundee United against Queens. 5-0 they win and remain at the top of the championship tonight. Match attendance incidentally inside Hampden 3,109.
3,109.
Slight difference, by the way, from when they were last there on a Friday night.
On the channel,
It was such a poor performance, and they were roundly booed off the park.
Changed days. That Wolves goal has been chopped off that I gave you there, but Wraith Rovers staying right in it. 2-1 at home to Ayr United this afternoon. Queen's Park 0, Dundee United 5, as Chick was telling us.
Full time at the Smythes Stadium. It finishes St Mirren 1, Hearts 2.
Right, OK, we'll have a look at that in a minute. So Airdrie 3, Morton 1, Dunfermline 1, Partick Thistle 1. Still playing. Inverness Cardiff Thistle 2-1 up against 10-man Arbroath. That would be a big result for Duncan Ferguson's side this afternoon if they can hang on to that one. Into League 1, Annan Athletic 1, Hamilton Accies 3. Edinburgh City against Montrose was abandoned. The score at the time was 0-0. Queen of the South 1, Kelty Hearts 2. Stirling Albion 1, Alloa Athletic 5. The champions Falkirk, they're at home to Cove Rangers. That's a 5:30 kickoff. And in League 2, Bonnyrigg Rose 2, Peterhead 2, Clyde 1, Stranraer 0, Elgin City 2, Spartans 2, Forfar Athletic 0, Dumbarton 2, Stenhousemuir 0, East Fife 0. So just looking at the table there, that looks to me as Stenhousemuir have been crowned champions. They are 13 points clear of second place Peterhead, and then Dumbarton as well. They're both on 52 points, Steny on 65. They've had a tremendous season. Gary Naismith has done a terrific job there. We had a Steny fan on a few weeks ago. They were loving things, breaking all sorts of records at that football club. So well done to them. So still playing there through Amon Vale, Willie.
They are, yeah. You know, it was 9 minutes in the first half, 6 minutes in the second half. A couple of stoppages as well. So still playing. Big let off. Obviously for the home side with that Majowski goal being chalked off. You know, they put a lot into this game. They certainly haven't given up the ghost and still pushing forward in the hope that they might be able to find the back of the net. And it falls down. It's a strike. No, it's well blocked. Aberdeen defending well, so still 0-0. But as you can hear in the background, home fans getting rather excited with Livingston up the park and putting the pressure on in the dying moments.
Yeah, so just looking at the table in the Premiership, Celtic 74, Rangers 73, Rangers with the game in hand. They play tomorrow, full coverage in Sportsound. Hearts 59 points, Kilmarnock 48, St Mirren 43, Dundee 39, Hibs 38, Motherwell 36, Aberdeen 34, St Johnstone 31. Big win for them today. Ross County 27, Livingston a terrible season for them. 18 points, just 3 wins from their 32 games. So for St Mirren, their place in the top 6 is guaranteed, Tom. And I saw Stephen Robinson speaking a couple of days ago, and he was saying they'll be making history. It was the first time, I think he said, in 39 years back to back top 6. Thanks, Willie. Yeah, terrific achievement. The thing now for them is to go on and get a European spot, which you narrowly missed out on last campaign.
Yeah, it has been a fantastic campaign for St Mirren. Absolutely tremendous. Real feel good at the club. And it, you know, they play some good stuff. They're only 5 points behind Kilmarnock. Who knows what they might? What, as you say, 48 and 43, isn't it? Kilmarnock, St Mirren, 5 points. I think they're just. Robinson has had an outstanding campaign, and you can see in his team the work rate in his team is exceptional. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes the quality mightn't always be there, but there's a heart in that team, and they're hard to quell. St Mirren. So I know that they haven't won today, but overall that's an outstanding season so far.
Yeah, St Mirren fan will join us later in the programme. Lots of reaction to come from our pundits, from the managers and the fans. So stay tuned to Sports, and we are with you right through until 7 o'clock this evening. Time now for the news at 4 minutes past 5.
On digital radio,
FM.
Your